we actually be in a separate studio, and I can see people I was talking to on the air. So it forces you to sort of think about who you're communicating with, you know.
Two of them are fine.
So you should be good here. So got it.
But it's all good. I mean, it's
now that's what
right. It doesn't work like that exactly. So, but it's fine. I mean, it's not a criticism or anything. It's just a growing thing. But it's better to, you know, and in that sense, you are. Like, you know, I was watching a movie about the radio show. But this actor did this great divine impression of both impression and delivery at Orson Welles.
How's that?
And he went in there, and he just had such a great ability to improv. And he went in there, and he had to go and do this 15-minute
my screen too.
a spot on his radio show.
Okay.
He gets there, and he goes in the script.
We're talk.
Okay. So, anyway, long story. And Les Tremaine, who some of you might remember from our childhood as mentor on the Billy Batson Shazam program on Saturday mornings, he played mentor, but he was an old school actor and an old school radio actor in the 2030s. Les Tremaine. And so they're going through the script and Wells comes in and he picks up on the cues and then he goes off on his own thing and he's improvising. I remember I saw her one last time at the railroad station, Lawrence. I don't remember if she saw me or not, but I remember. And he goes off, and the live musicians who were providing orchestration, they're like looking, they don't see anything else. So they're like, okay, they just pick up on it. They're like, he's telling a story, so they've got birds, flock, yeah. And when he wrapped up, he rejoined them into the script, you know, his reality, and it was great. But he was the whole time. He was talking to that microphone, you know, and that, because at the end of the day, that was who his customer was, you know, the person who was working. So it was really cool. And of course, like, everybody was porked by his ability to just do that. Like, what the hell was that? Right. So, but it was cool, you know, and that's what we're doing, basically. Sorry, Scott, I didn't want to.
No, it's good. Let's get started.
Let's do that.
One thing I would like to do.
I want to make sure there's a level of audio already.
All right.
I'm simultaneously able to hear in game and right now.
Yeah, perfect. He's been he's interfacing with the larger AI, which is frightening. Can you make sure that my electric shaver is off, by the way, while you're interfacing?
You're multi-class.
How's everyone's audio? How's it sound so far?
Audio seems pretty good.
I understand from certain people out there who shall remain nameless, Scott's wife, that my audio is a bit overpowering, so I'm going to modulate that.
The audio is good.
No, we adjusted for that already.
Yeah. Oh, good. We adjusted for that microphone. Yeah, adjusted for this microphone.
All right, welcome everybody.
Don't break the fourth wall.
To season 1, episode 2 of Crosscodes, our Esper Genesis campaign.
I remember Crosscodes.
What?
You don't remember the first?
You should remember it.
I do.
It is unremembered.
I remember.
I forgot about that
You
part.
forget. We all forget. I won't forget from now on.
Cliff, would you like to do a recap? You have the perfect voice for ZealZaddy.
Last week on Crosscodes, Esper Genesis campaign. So what happened? I don't remember what happened. I was particularly impressed. I'd like to. I became. Well, first of all, let's start with we all met at the spaceport.
On Mark. On Mark.
Oh, it was Mark that we met.
Yes,
right.
not Port.
Mark is the
Haven't been to
capital
Port
city and has a smaller spaceport.
Yes.
Than Port 10.
Yes.
Okay. Where we came together. My character is a native of the planet, as is Kevin's character, Jack the Crow, who's a pilot. Not out of work. Well, he's out of work until he's working. So he's a freelance pilot. My character has native roots and is a government person. Has former experience as a government official. We met three aliens. Soren, who is
Ashen
Forged, and along with Kel, who is a
dentist melder.
a dentist, and a melder,
Yes.
and also boots.
Yes. I'm an Eldori cybermancer.
Right. And the difference between what... For
But not Boots from Dora and Dora the Explorer. It's a different Boots.
Different boots.
Just so everyone knows, he's not a monkey.
Got you. Well, I am now aware that boots exists also.
But yes,
But I'll quickly forget that.
he's a cybermancer. I'm the melder. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
And what are the different... the ways that you interact with... that you interface with...
With Sorium.
yeah.
Or with...
how...
So one of the biggest differences between melders and cybermancers is that melders interface with like the physical hardware of things, whereas cybermancers sort of see the world like the Matrix. So they are able to hack the digital code of reality.
hardware and software.
Yes.
And would you say that, would you, some of you may think that I just had a tick, but it wasn't like that. It's not always like that anyway. So would you, so Kel, you're a mechanic essentially?
Yeah.
An engineer.
Yeah, space astronomer. I'm making maps of the stars, and that's what brought me to this planet. And yeah, melders kind of intuitively manipulate reality around them.
And the two of you independently of each other were both came upon the a core from an unscheduled drop of a spacecraft.
Yeah, we both got
Contracted
to get the
On a
same,
schedule.
That's what, it was a scheduled, right? It was
Yeah.
a scheduled one that you were
to
contracted.
get the same core, and
I may not have been the best person to do the recap.
Cal got in there first and got this data and discovered there's something very irregular about it. It's got remnants of code from maybe thousands of years ago in some proto-language. And there was a strange occurrence with the vessel that came flying by the station right around the time of the drop, caused all the power in the whole area to go out for just a moment. And right at that moment as well, the crucible that sits on the edge of the solar system, the thing that we use to teleport almost, to warp to other solar systems across the galaxy, stopped functioning, went offline, which it does occasionally, but to do that at the precise moment that this strange event occurred on the station, and I might add, the precise moment that a command was issued from the core that I was examining.
purge command.
A purge command, which we don't understand yet.
It's a series of coincidences happening at precisely the same moment that verily boggle the imagination, much less the probabilities.
Yep. So that's why we decided to track that ship that went flying by down to the surface, which I might add has some sort of stealth technology not visible by technology. We found it. Well, we went down and we joined up with each other, all finding out that we had a common interest in this crashed vessel. And went out there with some friends as well.
Right,
Yes.
taking transport with one of the locals, Tusk, who is a, what's the job that what's
He's a
guide,
scrapper.
he's a scrapper and a guide, right?
Yes.
So we went out with his,
With his son.
Tuscan Tusk Jr.
Yeah, Eddie?
Yes.
that's right.
Aptly nicknamed
That's right.
Fang by
Yeah.
us.
Right.
Great name.
Space Turtle.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome, right?
Yes, the
That's
statement
right.
Kalid.
Yeah.
Caleb,
That's right,
yes.
Caleb, that's what it is, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, it's these enormous,
House
like
size.
an amphibian?
No, it's
a reptile?
I mean, it's not. It's more like a reptile than anything else.
Gotcha. So it's so it took us to this drop site where we found the vehicle and evidence of alien technology, advanced alien technology, and somebody else also found it at the same time. And
Yes.
Esper connected with what we believe is the Romanov compound. Yes.
No, the
I'm sorry.
Dubois.
I mean, Dubois compound, from the, which is native to the planet.
Yes.
After making an illegal stake on the first ship.
Right. This is the Wheeler Dealer woman. What's her name again?
Corelli.
Carillion
Corelli.
Dubois.
Yes. And there was a tense moment, right, when her people showed up.
Yes. With
Right, the
this
Esper.
one, Dory.
The Esper in what we believe in their employ. What
Did we get a name?
her name was Endori, right?
Endori.
Endori, what was her last name?
Chiki.
Hmm?
Chiki. CHKI. CH apostrophe KI.
Okay, and she's an Esper, and I will say, bringing us back into the action, the only reason we're alive is because they didn't feel like murdering us.
More trouble than it's worth at the moment.
Fortunately, people knew we were there, right? Otherwise,
Yeah, we were hot.
That's why they didn't want to murder us.
right?
Hot media.
And of course, we haven't mentioned the exciting things that we found inside the ship, right? The ancient library of paper books,
Yes.
a four-armed alien that claimed that the ship has an AI that claims it was returning this four-armed alien home to a temple, yet there's no temple where we've landed.
And that this planet has a name from a previous civilization called Ator 4.
Correct.
And certainly for Kel's interests in the Crucible and astronomical history, the fact that these Atorians may have been the creators of the Crucible, a fact no one previously knew in the galaxy.
What gives you that reason to think that?
The AI said that that referred to the Crucible as the Atorians' space,
It was a transportation hub.
and I think.
Which is what you guys use it as too, though.
But did the AI not refer to it as say that the Atorians had constructed it, or did
Yeah.
I asked it if they were responsible for it, and you said, yeah, it's transportation.
But responsible means responsible for maintaining it, responsible for, I understand, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, based on,
Yeah.
That's vague. Yeah.
based on what
Ambiguous,
they're
yeah.
responsible for creating it, so they knew something of it anyway. I'm just trying to make sure that we're all.
And where you're at now, the ship you're in is upside down in the sand, mostly upside down, kind of cockeyed upside down. There's a whole bunch
buried, right?
and mostly buried. There's only a piece of landing gear that had a tunnel that you were able to crawl through to get into the ship. That's the only thing sticking out at this moment.
And how big was this fin?
It was about 30 feet into the air, but there's more of it down below. It's hard to tell exactly how much.
Right.
I think we were able to extrapolate
Can we
based on
know-
the size of that this ship was somewhere, if you want to reference other types of spacecraft, it was like a Millennium Falcon size of spacecraft.
That's right.
Not in the same configuration,
No,
but probably in the
size,
same
right.
mass.
Right. A small freighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small cruiser thing.
Longer, but not as wide, apparently. And in the hold, there's a whole bunch of boxes and crates that have just been thrown all around. Many were strapped down, so they weren't necessarily thrown around, but things inside them for sure in the crash got moved about.
Right. And the AI, the computer that's
Right, is now communicating on and off with you.
to you. Who's our primary contact?
Right now he is.
That's because you're interfaced with it.
Correct.
So you had the tense moment with Carillion and Carillion's
The Esper and Endor.
Esper and the
Endor.
few more marshals that were
Right.
accompanying it.
Whose face I take note of. Well, we actually took pictures of them if
Yeah.
that was capable, if we were able to do that.
Well, it isn't a sandstorm, but you could get something maybe.
Yeah, that floating.
Probably
companion
grainy.
line, right?
What is that? It's a...
It's called Bonded Companion. It's a little probe that I
Probe, right.
conjure.
Or
Like a robotic
drone.
familiar.
a drone.
Yeah, it's a little drone.
So Tusk is like walking through the ship and he's counting, like he's taking note, like an inventory on a tablet type device. And his son comes down and he goes, it's going to be, this sandstorm's going to keep us here for a while, so we need to either decide to get out or plan on staying. I mean, we can stay under the K-lid, we can stay in here, but at some point the K-lid's got to go get food, got to go get some food. So
what's our final dispensation with the vehicle? Who has...
Tusk,
Tusk is claiming salvage rights for it, right?
yes. And he's already put a marker out, which was one of the things that made it known you were here.
Do I assume
but
that's
also-
going to be okay? I mean, is that going to be a problem? Does that seem like...
Well, his goal would be to sell off their scrap.
And she said she
Oh, I should have
Is there an
heard that.
explosion? It sounded like this.
Violent decompression.
Sorry.
Wow.
Something happened in the show.
Will the Human Foundation be okay with that? I mean, is he gonna have any problem with that? I mean, I know that we were all,
That's a whole nother conversation.
well, I get that, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
how
I'm
much?
just going along with the floor. Because I really don't, I don't have a stake in this, I'm just doing this favor for friends of mine.
And how long can we stay? Do we know? Does Tusk give us a ballpark? Like, we could stay here with the supplies we have for X number of days, and the storm is like.
We can be here for weeks, but the Kalid's gonna need to be walked out of the gray to get some food at some point.
By when? Like days, weeks?
We have a couple of days before he has to
We
go.
gone through
But
every inch of the interior?
no.
We haven't completely searched, and there's these databases in this ancient language. that
Yeah,
I
and there are
haven't
two data cores on both sides of the central corridor.
I still have the AI
Right up
still
against-
running.
Right.
How long do we have before this, is the storm here, or is it?
You're in the storm. It's
Well, we're here, so
Just certainly look around for a little.
let's keep looking around.
Maybe we should investigate.
Yeah, let's search this place, so Cameron, we can head down into the computer, working on this language and linguistics analysis and pop up. No, you should look under all these panels, pull these walls out, you never know what's behind these things. Might be some good stuff for the salvage too.
Is there a captain's log that we need, that we were gonna try to access, or do we already access that with,
We salvaged the data that would have been the captain's log, but it's written in this archaic language, so we're not able to decipher the entire thing.
Proto-code, and I think we will, this is what we can call.
We're trying right now, or Kelvin and Boots and I are trying to run an AI that will figure out how to translate this language into a more readable, comprehensible language.
So, just speaking of goals, speaking entirely practically, we've got, we want to translate that data to find out the mystery of the ship. We made a promise to the AI to put the remains of the pilot, which is now bone dust,
to rest?
to rest at a temple on this planet, allegedly, assuming this is in fact Ator 4, which doesn't make sense because there's only 3 planets in this system now, but this is where the ship thinks it's supposed to go. The temple is supposed to be here, but it's been so long that maybe things have shifted. Plate tectonics, I don't know. So somewhere on this planet, hopefully not far, I think we kind of guessed it might be the same latitude, there's a temple we need to deliver this body to. So that's task 2. So interpret the language, deliver the body, and then I guess tear the ship apart for any further valuables or data.
and he had tried to interface with the DNI and got some kind of connection.
It didn't work out so well.
Right, that knocked you out, right? You went
Yeah.
into like a fugue state for a while, right?
I was essentially comatose and then couldn't remember anything.
You remember some, it didn't all make sense. It seemed
Okay.
fuzzy in your head, a lot of it. And some of it didn't even seem right. So,
And I think at least somewhere in there, we should be trying to deny Corellian Dubois access to either this AI or those data cores.
Agreed. Yeah, we definitely should take them with us if we leave.
If we
However,
have to, yeah.
the AI was not keen on that idea, you might recall.
Correct.
It likes being where it
If we could get this, it's all ask Tusk. So, how long would it take to, pull the vessel out of the sand and maybe, the AI claims it's still viable.
you mean intact?
Oh, well, so that we could fly it in the
I could dismantle it in a week.
is. Oh, well, it is currently space-worthy, in its own opinion. All it really needs to do is be righted.
Well, that may be true, but that doesn't matter to me.
Fair.
I mean, it does matter to me, and if someone wishes to buy it intact,
What would a thing like that cost us?
I've never found an intact ship, so I'm still trying to figure that out.
You see, my concern here is if these cores are really valuable, and if we try to take
They are? Hold on a second.
Okay, go ahead, you can request.
What were you saying?
Somewhat valuable.
The data, the information is scientifically valuable. I don't know if anyone will pay for it.
I heard on Earth that T-Rexes would go for millions of dollars in the old days when they had dollars.
I don't know what a dollar is, but I'm just saying, if you want to get these cores out of here, the AI is going to be angry about that, and you might. I don't know what kind of defense systems this place has got. Just like
Tusk, I have a feeling that your maximum value is to be got by working something out with Odyssey Ing and the Ing Foundation. They're the ones that asked me to come out here to check on this, to investigate it, and to see if there was any threat to planetary security.
I'm very open to negotiating a deal. I'm not interested in flying a spaceship because I don't like having my feet off the
I
ground.
respect that. I suspect I'm happy to serve as the conduit for whatever that transaction is, and I know that Odyssey will treat you fairly. You have my my guarantee on that.
Just practically, if we can move the spaceship some direction in the gray, then Grilling Dubois won't know where it is.
Does it look like it has the structural integrity to fly? I mean, not to fly.
It's really hard to
to
tell.
be righted. I mean, does it look like it's not cracked in any major way from inside, right?
According to it, it's still intact.
We have
And
observed no damage.
And the system says that it's intact.
if
Go ahead.
if Tusk wants to retain his salvage claim, though, he has to have that beacon on there, so they'll be able to track that wherever we go.
Well, Tusk, do you think that the College can rate this? Can rate the ship with chains?
Sure, if we get enough of the sand off it, yeah. It comes down to getting the sand off.
Have the bots been continually?
Yeah. Of course.
So how much time do you think it would be before?
We can move it in a week or two. We could ride it.
And how long until the Kalid needs food? A week or
A few
two?
days. Maybe a week.
All right, that's a problem.
Do I still
I mean, the
have-
good thing is it'll eat for a whole day and then it won't need to eat for weeks.
Am I still able to contact Odyssey?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was going to take that long. I mean, maybe that's worth it to them. I mean, I think that the vessel is worth salvaging intact, and not turning into scrap parts.
It is worth more than the sum of its parts.
So I'm going to send a message to Odyssey to that effect. I don't know if I have to speak with him, but I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can do
I'm
it.
going to shoot him a text message to let him know that what the situation is, and that it looks like it could take a week for this to happen, unless there are resources that he can bring to bear to make that earlier. And does he or the foundation want to speak with the claimant? What's his last name? Tusk.
Larson.
Right. Does he want to? Do they want to work with the claimant? Because otherwise, he's ready to. My advice is that this thing's probably worth more from a technological and from a maybe even as an artifact, not being cut up into pieces.
Yeah, we'll work with them for sure.
And that timeline is good.
Yeah,
How do we-
it'll
how do
be
we-
me personally. It won't be the foundation probably.
How do we secure the site? Because I don't know if you want us to be out here for a week. I'm sure that they don't know. We can't actually because the beast needs to be fed.
Do you need us to bring food or something out there for you guys, or are you okay? Is it just the animal?
I mean,
That needs to be fed?
We probably also do, right? I would imagine.
Tusk said that we have
He's got
enough
food.
stuff for us for a couple of weeks.
Oh, he does have supplies.
Yeah.
Right. So we have supplies, and the killer needs to be fed.
Okay. I could get some food flown out maybe and do a drop, drop from space and have it, or not from space, from the air and have it drop down close enough that it wouldn't take long to get them away. If that'll help speed up the process,
Does that work for you, Tusk?
that'd be excellent. I would love to not have to stop working. I want to get this thing out of here and understand what I'm looking at.
Make it so.
Thank you, Odyssey. I look forward to meeting you and discussing this opportunity for you.
And do we need to be here to secure this for them, or I mean, you tell me what our best. I mean, I'm in it if we need to be, but well, you want to still extract. They still have to extract that information from the core, right? Which is going to take some time.
Yes. So they probably do need to be here.
Yeah.
The two of them.
That's what I'm doing.
It may
Question
be
is-
practical for all of us to be here.
And you're going to have to. Well, do you think that what did your experience? Did you learn anything from interfacing with the intelligence on the navigation system, Jack?
Very little, so hard to interpret.
Did you fly this thing?
So it would certainly help if the AI was more friendly. I think we need to lay that pilot to
Okay.
rest in whatever ceremonial way it wants.
So let's.
We have to find the temple.
So what kind of geography and topographical features are there? It's all sand, right? Everything around us.
Yeah. So you go further east, and there's some like hills and mountains that are more solid.
But it's in a band, like the
Yeah.
storm.
Yep, north
And we're
side.
assuming that it's somewhere along
Correct.
the latitude if the planet stopped rotating at the same speed that the AI expected.
And I mean, I'm assuming that we have access to maps of this planet that would suggest that there's no ruins. In
The maps.
areas
This
that are visible.
this place been mapped for about 300 years.
So the areas that aren't in the gray, we have satellite imagery of them all. There's not
Yes.
any ancient ruins from some previous
Or
civilization.
even
Maybe
unusual
Not-
mounds
Are-
or mountains.
It's had. I mean, they're working on terraforming more than mapping every square inch of it. But there are satellites that map stuff. Sure.
Maybe orders in the gray.
Do we have that access now?
We were talking about how to address
this
this
storm.
Huh?
Yeah. How do we address this here? Computer. Computer.
Yes.
Can you describe describe what a temple looks like to us? The parameters of a temple, physical description, any information that would be helpful for us to identify.
Yes. There's an entrance into the mountain, and it gives a coordinate that seems to be here.
Are there any, if we look at a topographical map of the planet, are there any mountain ranges in that band?
East.
So we have to go to those mountains to the east.
Yeah.
Out of the gray?
Yes.
How far?
Once you get out of the gray, you'll be into Nightside, and you'll be probably
So it's east
100
and
miles.
side.
Yes.
How many miles?
About 100 miles out of the gray.
So since
Wow.
the whatever astrocartography here is my jam, I have a ballpark. We have some ballpark idea of when this vessel, how old this vessel is, or maybe how old this information is.
Yep.
So I should be able to take what we know about the planet's slowing rotation and say, well, the map was from X thousand years ago, and they thought it was at this location, but when you calculate all the years that have passed, their data is going to be off. Is it in the wild ballpark of that distance?
Yes.
So, okay.
You, with your cartography, could probably pinpoint pretty closely
Alright.
to where you think it would be.
Pretty good guess.
Alright, so that is one task. Find the temple. With at least,
Now we have to go.
yeah, find out, form a hypothesis about the location of the temple.
Now we have to go find the temple.
We found well, but I think first we should we need to finish the search and ship within that, and I would think we can't really leave until we sort of gotten the information available out of these cores.
How long do we think, now that the AI has been running for some time, how much longer do we think we would need to run this program to have at least a basic translator for the language?
A couple of months.
Okay. And can we bring the untranslated data? Can we download all of it?
Sure. I assume you're already doing that as you do it, as you go.
So download all the data on our devices. So if the cores are, let's say we leave to go to this temple in some number of days, and Corellian comes in and steals the ship, we have downloaded all the data off of it, just in case. That would be important before we leave. So I think we should just finish more thoroughly examining the ship itself while we're waiting for that AI to run.
I think that this AI program is running on my personal data pad, so I can take it wherever I want, as long as we have the data for me to run the program against. We can do that not here on the ship.
Right. And we certainly will want to, we're doing all of those things, right?
As long as it allows a connection to be maintained.
Correct.
That's all.
Connection to
The ship.
So we can't take all that. What I want to mean is I want to take all the data with us, so we don't need the connection.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually.
Well, there's a lot of data.
Right. But I would like to not do that.
You'd need another core that would be able to handle that that quantity.
And the core I brought with me, is it big enough?
And everything's encrypted, so you're decrypting as you're doing stuff, which slows it down.
Right.
So it seems like there's a slight echo in the sound coming from the microphones that are plugged into the mixer. Not the Yeti, but these 3 microphones are having some sort of echo. Like these microphones are each picking up the sound.
Can you set them to both all be binary rather than omni? There's a little button on the back.
Those 2 are both already me.
Binary would be a little figure 8 pattern on them, and see if that makes.
That one's good. This one's the only one that's omni.
Yeah.
That
might
one's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's good.
We'll see if that fixes it. This
All right.
one was on.
Okay. Hopefully that'll help.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry to interrupt.
And you're working on the core, on one of the cores, because the other one, you don't have the tools to handle both at the same time.
Yeah.
So only one of them is the one you're working on at the moment.
well, maybe he can work on one and I'll be working on the other one.
Okay.
I mean, I can see, Kel's motivation here is to get that astronomical
Okay.
data.
So how are you going to do that?
Well, I would try to, stands in another room, computer. Please allow me access. May I have access to the navigational data for this vessel from its origin?
And you get
now?
scanned. One of those lights scans over you. Negative. This
May I-
core is not available to you.
Not at all. None of it. Well, it'd be difficult to find that temple for you without some sort of understanding about how long you've been traveling, you see. And then I'll start going on like...
Well, there's data on the other one on where it's traveled and stuff too.
Oh, but...
You're not sure what's on this one necessarily.
Well, could you tell me the nature of the data stored on this so that I know what not to ask for?
And there's no reply.
I see. You remind me of someone I tried to date in high school once.
Also no reply, but maybe chuckling to herself or itself.
Sounds much better. That's what we're doing.
Awesome.
So then, can I access any data whatsoever on this core?
Negative.
I see. Okay, that's the secrets core.
That's the special.
Yeah, I'll look back and try to assist on that one for now.
Okay.
But I think we need to, as you said earlier, as Jack suggested, satisfy the AI's demands before it plays nice with us.
Yeah.
Which means temple bound eventually.
Or sooner than eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think we should look around, just make sure we didn't miss anything in the place before we leave.
We will begin to sweep the perimeter as we walk off, looking around.
Okay. While you're out there, make me a perception check.
First die roll of the day.
Here we go.
Honey.
You hear a very light hum. You're not quite sure where it's coming from because it's so dark in here. Not dark, it's just like, cloudy, like being in fog. But there's definitely something mechanical nearby.
So, like he can hear something.
He heard like a whir of something.
I patch into the comlink. We are getting a strange hum of some sort, something mechanical. We can't quite place it at the moment. We will continue to investigate.
Can you calculate a direction?
Can I calculate a direction?
Yeah. Well, you're walking in. Yeah, you can calculate the direction. You are west of where you were of the ship. Half a mile maybe or a quarter of a mile.
So a quarter that far. Okay, so yeah, that would be beyond like the limits of the ship. So no one's trying to. I said this image of Crowley trying to dig in.
You actually think though that would put him into the space that is claimed by the other ship.
Oh, okay.
We believe it's coming from the west.
That sounds like maybe the direction of Caroline Dubois' claim.
The freighter.
Could she have begun excavation on her claim this
It-
quickly?
Tusley, yeah, of course. She'll take that thing apart as fast as she can, but that's a big ship, so it's going to take time.
We will remain vigilant then.
And you hear some machine like cranking up louder.
How would he, like a free, an independent guy like that, salvage a ship like this?
Like the big freighter?
Yeah.
He would make the claim and then he would sell off the as much of it as he could. He would only take a small amount. He would make a cut off of everybody else, just doing the dismantling.
I see.
He would hire crews.
Right. That would just be a matter of him getting there first.
Yes.
Right.
I was gonna say,
That's how they make their money. They get there first, so they get the full claim, and then they start taking cuts off everybody else's work.
They're using the claim on the resource. It's like,
Yes.
it's like owning a rock quarry.
Yeah, right.
Or a bubblegum quarry.
Can the rest of us who are in this ship do a more systematic search, like really kind of digging in room by room to see if there's
Yeah.
anything unusual?
Yeah, and there's the central corridor. That was where the doors had opened, and opened on both sides when you were walking through. There's two panels towards the back that did not open. You didn't notice them before because you never went back that direction and saw them back tucked into the back. But there are also plates along the walls. There's the floor panels can be lifted to get to things in there if necessary. Even ceiling things. I mean, you're actually standing on the ceiling, not on the floor. So there's a lot of opportunity for there to be things not easily visible. And then in the hole, there's all kinds of crap just everywhere. Well, that's probably the biggest mess to deal with.
Yeah, maybe kind of want to go back to the hole. Since the AI is just running.
Yeah.
Right. You can't do anything else there. The other core is uncooperative. So I'll go back and I've been poking around in a few of the boxes before back then when we came through the hole. So
Yeah.
I would return and investigate that.
Yeah, there's when you get in there, you see there's a couple doors off the main hold also. Towards the back where apparently the ship widens a little bit at the back. So it kind of has a thinning at the front and at the back it gets wider. And you realize there's a big floor part that would open to make a ramp. But it's all under sand at this point, so
Right.
you would never have seen it.
And this is maybe to let that vehicle out?
Maybe. Or to just load stuff, load equipment, whatever you're going to transport.
And I guess, are we... I'll ask the computer. Computer, what's the status of the space beyond this opening hatch? Is it solid sand?
The ship is covered in the sand from the planet, except in a few spots.
All right. So if I hit the open button, it would just put it over because there's sand on it.
Correct. I wouldn't open it.
Bad idea. All right. Well, I'll just start searching the room.
Okay. And you go, there's a lot of crates. It's mostly crates. None of the crates are broken, but they're all thrown around all over the place. But there were things not in the crates that were broken. There were fire retardants, there were space suits, things like that were apparently...
armed spacesuits?
Yep.
Where the ship widens in the back, what would that space be used for?
It usually to get cargo in and store
Are
the
there
cargo
extra cargo
places.
spaces back there in that
Yeah.
water? Do we have access to that?
Yeah, the place is not full.
It's not.
The ship's not full.
So we don't know what's back in those extra cargo places. This is what you just, as you just described, they're all the same.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crates, and most of them are sealed.
Okay.
You'd have to take some time to either break them open, which you could do, or open them, manually with tools.
I'll break the crate open.
Okay. When you open it, there are supplies for the life support system. It's canisters of chemicals and things like that that are used for creating atmosphere, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, the crates I looked in before had ship supplies, basically. Is there a computer, is there a manifest of the cargo on the ship that you could provide us?
That's a good question. Negative, you do not have access to the manifest.
Computer, what was the purpose of this vessel?
You're not authorized to have that information.
I'm going to open another crate.
Okay. In it, there are what look like might be weapons, but not ones you've seen before.
Handheld weapons, like
No, like rifles and pistols of some kind.
energy weapons.
Yes.
That's interesting. How many crates are there back here?
About 30.
I'm going to
Good
start
size
breaking crates
ones.
up. I mean,
Okay.
it's not all environmental supplies.
It's not. Some of them have parts for the ship, apparently. Some of them look like they may have parts for the other vehicle here, the ground vehicle. Some of them have suits, like EVA suits. There's EVA suits in one of the crates that seem to be intact. Of course, you could only use 2 of the 4 arms, but hey, you have somewhere to put the urine.
See, full of urine.
How large do you think the crew was?
Maybe at most 8 or 10 tops, because there's not enough bedrooms or crew quarters for anything more.
Okay.
And those side rooms you described off the back, those are just filled with these crates, or is there?
No,
Just sort of entering each one?
it doesn't open.
Computer, I think I know the answer to this one already, but I don't suppose you'd let me examine the contents of these rooms. Might be something.
That room is not safe and secured at the moment.
Define not safe.
You could get injured in that room.
Well, I could get injured in any room. I trip and fall all the time. Now, are we talking about there's a contaminant, or there is a hazardous material, or there is an angry person with a knife? I mean, what?
No,
What's the threat?
an assistant is putting the room back in order.
An assistant? Well, that's fascinating. Will you please notify me when the room is accessible?
Yes.
And how about this room? I'll just...
Yeah, and other rooms are fine. You can go in. There's one crew quarter down here by the hold. Probably whoever manages the hold or whatever
Right.
take stuff in. There's a whole couple of rooms of storage of things like medical equipment, medicines, tools like that, like very delicate stuff that are packed particularly very specially, so they don't get damaged very easily.
Can you analyze these medicines and determine if they have any human or humanoid value? Is there any way for us to analyze for you folks?
He might be able to. He's a scientist.
Yeah, I'm a xenobiologist, or have xenobiology as some training. I minored in xenobiology.
Do you have chemistry or anything like that, or medical?
I don't have chemistry.
We can get to the
Medical.
rest of your CV
No
later.
medical. Yeah. And then I interned. No, I don't
You
know.
don't know.
This close. Yeah, right.
I like to talk about it. Good.
And in one room, there seems to be some kind of like a giant globe with a post that goes, mounts into the what would apparently be the ceiling, and it looks like it's made to move,
Wait, what is it? What is it?
like a big globe in the center of the room with a hatch to it
Oh, so they let you go into.
hatch.
that someone would maybe go into for something.
There's a globe with
But
a
it's upside
hatch
down.
that leads into the globe?
The hatch goes into the globe, yes.
Well, clearly.
And is it the globe is opaque? We can't see inside it?
No, it's solid
What's it
metal.
made of?
Some kind of ceram steel or something similar.
Well, I know I'm going to open it.
Look for you.
I'll do just that. I'll walk up and I can't identify any purpose to this thing from the
Okay.
inside, right? So I guess I'll go and I'll ask, computer, is it safe to
It's a
enter
mechanical opening.
the sphere here?
You have to open it mechanically.
I suppose the area within the sphere is habitable as I'm opening it.
Did we,
Yeah.
what did you say about the medicines? Were they humanoid? Were they?
He doesn't know.
You couldn't tell. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can just open it. And inside there's a seat and some kind of a control mechanism, but it's upside down, and there's like a 5-point harness to it.
I'm going to try to get into that harness.
Upside down?
Well, I don't know how I do that.
What's
Let's-
a 5-point harness?
Like a racing harness, like
Yes.
lock your top.
So I could hang it.
To make you very
Shoulder,
secure.
waist, crotch.
Yeah, if I could get into it. So I have my guiding discs if I need to cast that, if I need to
Yeah, and
use that
Oh,
talent
head,
to get.
shoulders.
Okay.
Well, I mean, is there...
you can do that because you can use it to kind of hold your weight up while you get up
Right.
underneath it. So you climb in, you're able to climb into it, and
Inverted stalk.
the seat itself
Yeah.
is, the post that comes, the seat is mounted to the post and can
Okay.
go around the post, it looks like,
Okay.
with whatever control you have in front of you.
So does there seem to be a way to activate the sphere, see what it does?
Yeah, there's the
red
control. It's not a red button, but there's a control in front of it.
All right, well, yeah, I'm trying to determine, I mean...
There's a power.
I'm
You can
going
power
to
it
keep interacting and just experimenting with this until I determine its purpose.
And you turn it on, and it seems like a pretty simple set of sensor data you're getting. None of it is good because it's all pointing and stuff underground. And you hear the computer say, "It is not recommended to fire the weapon while the ship is under sand."
Could you send me the specifications for this weapon?
Negative. It is defensive in nature.
I was really hoping it was a game system.
Yeah. I was hoping it was a map, right? Like how you can interact with the universe map. But all right, so can you tell me anything about the weapon so I don't accidentally hurt somebody?
It is an energy weapon used to defend the ship if necessary.
A projectile weapon? As it shoots energy?
Yes.
All right, good to know. Big gun. All right.
Is there a safety?
No.
I'll be careful not to push the big red button.
You have to actively make it work. It's two-handed. You have to
Yeah,
use two
so
hands
this
to make
is-
it do something.
And I assume that the
Right.
targets would appear in the sphere
Yeah.
around me. Okay.
You found the turret.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I will slowly extract myself without trying not to land on my head and go back and say, hey guys, I found the gun.
You had found guns.
That's not
Yeah, speaking of the
necessarily.
guns you found, I like saying them. Do they seem to be active?
Yeah, they have sorium in them. Those are energy weapons. That sorium is not gone. Yeah, those are
So I
real
might
weapons.
like to look at those.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Soren back. Soren?
My Soren here. Come in.
I believe I found something you might find of interest.
Excellent. We are getting tired of looking at all this dust.
Hey, what are you doing out here?
Hmm?
You hear over the comm someone yelling to him. Let me see your ID. And a guy starts walking towards you, and there's another person with him.
We are here with the salvage team. We are well within our claim. Claim, right?
No,
Oops.
you're actually in the other claim.
I'm gonna all hail
Or
everybody.
on the very
It
edge
seems
of
like
it.
Soren might have wandered into the
You might be right on the edge. It's very hard to
We might
tell.
want to go outside.
He's outside.
He was walking and looking.
We apologize if we
And the
have.
person walks up to you. Let's see. I need your ID.
Who is asking for it?
I'm asking for it. I'm the head of security for this claim.
Well, we are head of security for the other claim. We are ensuring that our beacon has not been tampered with.
Can you give me the distance from me right at this point? Am I in claim? Yes, you're in claim. Extend that 2 feet. Am I still in claim? You're in claim. So, do you want to come with me, or because I have to understand what your motivations are here? Whose claim is that you're talking about over there? Is that
This
Tusk?
claim belongs to Tusk Larson.
Yeah, Tusk, the one who stole part of our ship.
We do not recall it this way. That is for the Freeze's legal courts to decide.
Yeah, I saw the video of the piece flying off of it, so I'm already convinced.
We are sure that you are convinced.
And he puts his hand on your arm. You're gonna need to come with me.
We will kindly ask you to remove your hand from our arm. Politely.
So how far
Are you-
How far out did he wander? He must have
Half a mile.
Really? Oh, I didn't realize you had gone that far.
He was wandering the perimeter, checking around.
Yeah,
I mean, a quarter mile's not that far. Mile's not that far.
How long does the claim? How wide does the claim normally extend? About that long?
Yep, mile.
Yeah, I figured I'd be in the obviously since we're in such a gray, sketchy area that I'd be stick to more or less where I know where ours is.
You wandered off.
Make me
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
That's
That's what I was just telling
an
you.
intelligence check.
Yeah.
Okay. 12.
You don't think he's out of the claim space. When you see where the numbers are, he does not seem out of the claim space.
Okay.
They're encroaching.
All right.
And you hear that whirring sound again, and you realize it's above at this point. You don't see anything. There's sand and stuff in the air, but you know there's something above you, mechanical.
Did you say that these energy weapons that are in here, are they, no, he said, are they, is the technology alien to us? We wouldn't know how to use them?
Not that you wouldn't know how to use them. They're just not. They don't look like any of the weapons you've
I see,
seen.
but I mean, there's
But
like.
they look like a
regular
weapon
rifles.
that- yeah, absolutely.
I see, okay. So, and these look like rifles, et cetera, et cetera.
And,
So-
right, rifles
so
and pistols.
We'll take some of these heavy energy weapons and go outside the vessel. Or I'm gonna take one and I'm gonna go,
I'll go with you.
yeah. And, grab a rifle.
Yeah.
What end?
Maybe not you. And we'll.
Tusk grabs a rifle and a pistol.
We can figure out where he is based on the.
Yeah, you can tell them right where it is.
Yeah, I'd have like a set of like a beacon, like a GPS of where I am. I'm gonna walk.
Right.
And if I suddenly disappear, yeah, that's not good.
Right. So we'll, I guess the only way to get out there, the fastest way is by foot. Right?
Yeah, it's the only.
So we'll do quick time to get out there where he's at.
I mean, I would like to know. I have a pistol.
That's why.
Tell them, I'm gonna say,
I don't need that.
Soren, tell them that you wandered away from our claim, that you wandered away from your claim.
Did you convey to everyone that he's in claim?
Yeah, that I think they're encroaching onto our claim. Like they're expanding the size of their claim.
Is he still got his hand on my arm, or has he wisely removed it?
He pulled it back,
Thank you.
and you see a couple more people like coming out of the gray towards him.
This brings the count up to how many?
About 5. What's going on up here? We have someone encroaching on our claim. He could be a spy or someone. Someone trying to, or worse, he could be trying to steal some of the parts that fell off. They already stole part of it. We know that.
We believe that you are encroaching on our claim. Our data shows that we are still within Tusk Larson's stake.
Oh, you mean the claim that we don't recognize because it's not a true claim? I understand what's happening here. You think that you own something
We think that we own nothing. We are merely acting on behalf of Tusk Larson, ensuring that there is no underhanded tactics being used.
Like you wandering around looking for our freighter? Is that what you were doing?
No.
Because you were heading in our direction. I mean, meandering, I would say, but with some purpose.
How far away are we at this point?
You're a few hundred yards from the ship.
Yeah,
From him.
From him.
From the ship.
we've
You gotta get out.
Gotcha.
It's gonna take a few minutes for us.
No, I am.
So, are you going to come with us so that we can have a conversation, or is this going to end
We are
up the other
having a
way?
conversation right now.
No, not a conversation with me. I can't read your motivations.
We are not moving from this spot. We have done nothing wrong. We are here. We are within our claim. And I pop up on the heads up big holographic display. We are within our claim here. Any legal discussion of a dispute is to be resolved between your client and my client.
He's not going to be moving. And he says, well, we're going to send someone to talk to you then. Just stay here. And he starts walking back a little bit. Make me a perception check.
Here you go again. Nine.
9. You hear some kind of a mechanical something, like a firing almost. And make me a dex roll.
Here we go. A saving throw?
Yes, saving
Here
throw.
it is.
Here it. Oh boy. Here I go killing again.
Well, I mean, finally.
Yeah.
As you guys are getting closer and closer, you hear something
Get fired up.
mechanical, like fire, like a firing of something.
Uh-oh.
What'd you roll?
12.
12. And what's your dex? It's
17.
Wow.
so that with your bonus 0. Okay.
Nice.
A net wraps you up
Transfer.
from the air, and suddenly you feel this thing and lift you off the ground. So you guys hear this like heavy whirring sound suddenly pick up in strength, and like suddenly it's this loud, and in the haze you see something like a ball being lifted off the ground with a rope,
We start running. Or I start running.
and it starts to tighten down on
Sure,
you.
let's run.
We believe we are being kidnapped at the
Initiative.
Initiative!
Yay!
Okay, so roll a d20, add your initiative bonus. Which is if you don't have anything that gives you some additional.
Anyone.
It's just your dex.
What?
Natural 1.
Oh, I rolled a
A
net
natural
19.
one? You didn't add any negatives to that or anything?
No, well,
to get you.
yeah, right. It's just a 1. Right. I
So
can
Eugene
add a few to that.
won.
No, I get +3, so I'm at
So
4.
4. Okay. Clip
7.
7.
Quick off the blocks.
Kyle.
20.
Nice.
Nice.
Natural?
No, not natural.
Nice.
17 plus 3.
Jake.
22.
Okay, nice. Kevin.
23.
19.
Nice.
Oh, and I need to roll for Tusk. Oh. Hey, he goes before 2 people,
Well,
which in this set of rolls is not particularly all that helpful. So, Kevin, you're moving the fastest out there, and you get close enough that you can see that the Ashen Forge is in a net being lifted off the ground, and there's some kind of a drone you can barely see it, but it's up there, and it's starting to chug a little bit, but starting to move away from you.
What the range on this is? Let's see. Take a shot at whatever I can.
We do not like this course of action.
All right, so I'll take a shot at whatever seems to be suspending the net.
Okay.
Never shoot a
So,
shotgun.
do you have any kind of weapons proficiencies or skills?
Yes.
What do you have?
I have simple, saber, needler.
Well, needle's a pistol, so pistol.
Yeah, I have a specialist.
Okay.
You are,
No rifles or anything?
you are proficient
Anything
in.
like that?
No, right.
I got it here too. Simple weapons, auto pistol, long blade, short blade, saber.
Okay.
So there's a short rifle and light pistol you can use. For
Yeah, you can still use a rifle, just you're not going to be proficient.
You just don't add your
Right.
proficiency bonus.
Right.
You
Okay.
just don't add the +2.
You
Correct.
do have your dex bonus. Correct.
So, do it. Roll.
See
You
what happens. All
can roll a natural 20.
Roll 17, 21.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You hit whatever it was up there,
With
and you
what?
see it go, and it drops. You hit the ground hard, not hard enough to take any points or anything, but you were about 10 or 12 feet off the ground already, so you fell 10 or 12 feet, and it hits, and then you hit, and it hits, and then you hear the commotion from the other side of him of people coming up, more people coming up, and you can see that there are other people on the other side of him, and it looked like they were kind of walking with him, like they were transporting him. Yeah.
Nice shot. Did blue green beam of plasma shoot out of his
Yeah,
neck?
Jake.
So, aside from the fact that these individuals have tried to kidnap Soren, what else do I see? And how far away are we at this point?
Well, it's hard to see much of anything. Even seeing those people is kind of just like a hazy body,
Yeah.
you know. The clearest person actually is the Ashen Forged. He's the only one that is relatively clear at this point.
And he's big, too.
And he's
dwarf
big.
structure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I move towards him.
Okay.
How far away would you say I am?
At this point, you're within a run. You could get to him with a run.
I'm gonna move.
You run 30 or you run 40 or?
I'm gonna move up 30,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna use Aegis. I'm just gonna like put up a shield
Okay.
of enemies
Nice.
in between myself and whatever threats are on the other side.
Kyle.
I am still entangled, correct?
Yes.
Right.
But you can unentangle. But it's tight, so you'll have to probably cut your way out.
I was gonna say, do I have access to my boot knife?
You can get to it, yeah.
Okay. So I'm
So
going
just
to. I get to my boot knife.
Okay.
I need
What's
to-
your boot knife made of?
Drop forged carbon. Drop
Okay.
forged,
You can cut
titanium
these things. Okay. Yeah.
in Mars pattern specialty. With a natural 20.
Oh, yeah. You cut a hole that you just sort of fall right out of, slide out of. You cut through several of them and get out before anything can happen.
I stand up. See Bones there. Hello. Hello, Bones. It is nice to see you.
Who's
It's Boots.
We are sorry. In the confusion, we forgot. We are ready to inflict gratuitous mechanical violence.
What's your AC?
18.
Something fires and goes past you.
Just whizzes right above my head.
Yep.
I don't duck.
Something fires and goes past you. And something whizzes by you that was really close. So they're obviously firing, some kind of pistols or rifles or something. Some kind of ballistic weapon.
Have you been in a firefight before?
Nope.
Good, you are doing the right action.
Okay. Tusk. Tusk runs up. He's got a physical shield, like a small shield, that won't be useful particularly here, and a sword out. But he takes the rifle off his back that he was carrying from there, and he fires. he's going to hit someone.
Just remember, we're level 1. We're very squishy.
Yes. Yes, we are.
He hits one of the people that are in the gray area, and they drop with the powered rifle. One more fire. Your shield, what does it do?
It
How does it work?
provides resistance against all non-forged damage.
Okay.
All non-forged bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So if they hit me, take half damage.
Yeah. You take 3 hit points.
Ah!
You get grazed by a ballistic weapon. Cliff, what are you doing?
Well, I was going to do what you just did to yourself, so, but they're firing at us now, right?
Yeah, but they're close too. I mean, they're close to him. Then you're near. You two are both fairly
I'm
near.
gonna take aim.
Okay.
And see what this thing has.
Okay. Roll a hit.
Is that plus dash?
Yes.
So it's 9.
9. Yeah, you miss.
Okay. What's the effect? What does it do?
It looks like a laser of some kind, or something like that, or a blaster, or whatever you call it. So it goes out in straight line, and the nice thing is you don't feel recoil. But the gun, you feel heat come out of the sides of the rifle arms. Just hot come out.
Sweetest.
Then Eugene.
Yes. All right, so Cal is like bringing up the rear here and sees how many.
Of course, the scientist is last in the fight.
Yeah.
Makes
Way to
sense.
play the stereotype.
Guys, wait up for me. What? How many figures do I see in the gray in front of me?
5.
5. Okay, that's after one.
I'm
got
sorry,
shot.
4.
4
4
now,
left.
okay. So, I'm thinking, all right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a diversion to give my friends some cover. And between...
Please.
So there's a little bit of distance between my friends and these guys firing, maybe 20 yards or something, right? So in between the Ashen Forged and them, I'm going to create what's called an illusory form, which is basically like an illusion of a... I'm a I have a minor in xenobiology, so I'm going to create a frightening land creature, like burrowing creature. Like imagine it's 15-foot cube space. So imagine something erupts out of the sand and has a big gaping maw. So this will do 2 things. 1, ideally, it will distract, confuse, and maybe scare them. 2, it also means that it's a visual illusion.
Does it have a fear effect as part of it?
No, it's just a visual illusion. Okay. And what I'll do is over our comms, so that they can't hear, I'll say, that's just an illusion, which means it's not real, guys. So they should be able to see through it now that I've indicated to them it's not real. But they, the bad guys over there, can't see through it without examining it, I believe. So the...
I think it's an action.
Yeah, so the effect is, which is why I need to look at the book, is... Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion. If they want to figure it out, you make an intelligence investigation check against my channeling save DC, which is, the number is 14 with an investigation check to try and look at it and be like, Or if they just go up and smack at it, then they don't get a roll. They don't need a roll. They just automatically see it.
Yeah.
But at least some of them, I'm hoping.
Oh shit, there's bone worms coming out. We gotta get the fuck out of here. And you see 2 of them back away, and they start like pulling back from the rest of the group. The other 2, there's enough fuzziness in the air that it's really hard to tell. So they work their way around it as much as they can, but they keep a distance from it and they keep an eye on it.
Distracting 2, I'll take it. And then I'm going to, oh by the way, hit the deck.
Okay, back to the top. Kevin,
So how far are we now from the figures?
you're at them. They're further back. You can either continue past or you can.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you're with the two of them. three of you guys are now pretty close together. And Cliff is almost with you guys too.
Rafe.
Rafe is with you guys too. Sorry.
Yeah, and there's a den that's
Thank
laying on
you.
the ground here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any benefit to attempting to brace, like sitting down and actually taking aim?
Yeah.
I'll
You'll
do
get
that.
improvement.
And I'll shoot one of the ones who hasn't kind of retreated.
When they go to shoot at you, they're doing so at disadvantage because
Right.
you're on the ground.
And you're shooting at advantage if you're aiming.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. Aim for one.
If you have time to aim.
12.
That'll hit. The closest one.
Okay.
And it hits, and you can hear like this searing sound, and then and he starts moving as fast as he can, limping away as much as possible to get away. But he's definitely not moving as fast as the other one. It's still there.
What do these guys dress like?
They're wearing, it looks like, some kind of heavy clothes for the desert, but not like combat equipment. They're not wearing like combat suits or anything.
I see. So they're some salvage.
Yeah, but I mean they can fight.
Right.
But they're not soldiers.
Gotcha.
Security team at best.
Right.
At least one guy is security team. And Jake.
So the guy someone shot me.
Yeah.
And now I realize that I'm clearly in danger. So it's time to not be on the defensive. And you see Boots gets visibly like irate, and he's like, "That hurt!" And his eyes glow like a goldish, shimmery color. And he reaches out his hand in their general direction, and you see this like, it's almost like the air becomes pixelated between him, and there's like a line that goes straight towards one of them, and he's going to shoot a sprite beam at them, 16 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
Okay, and he does.
What does it do?
He does 7 points of force damage.
Okay, he flies back, and he stays down.
And that's my turn.
Don't anger these.
Kyle.
There's only one left at this point, right?
Yes, and that was the one who came to you initially. And he's not been touched.
Okay.
Make sure I haven't touched someone.
Make me a perception.
Phew. Do that. 7.
Okay, so go on. What are you doing?
How far away is he from me?
He's pretty close.
Oh, that's not a good place for him to be.
Is it not?
I am.
You think too that he's using you as a shield
Oh.
against your compatriots,
Oh,
but backing away, but you making sure to keep you between him and them.
oh. Yeah, I'm going to go and basically do a running tackle on this guy. I am going
Okay.
to just clothesline this poor individual who chose to have a very bad day today.
Roll.
That's no good.
Let's see. Rolled a 16.
That'll hit
Yeah.
for sure. How much do you do?
Well,
You're tackling, so
Yeah.
you're trying to subdue.
yeah.
Okay.
So I am basically like, I am up, throw the knife to the ground, and just lunge at this poor
Okay.
man.
And you get him grappled. You get your hand on him. What's your AC?
My AC, at this point, I'm going to throw down the shield, so I'm at 16.
Okay. And when you get him, you feel a knife come down, and you realize he had a weapon in hand in case somebody got close. Without
Do I feel the knife in me?
you do feel the knife in you. You take 2 points.
Rude.
Rude son of a bitch. Okay.
At this point, I'm staring him directly in the face, and I say to him, "We advised against that. We do not appreciate that." As I got the knife in my shoulder.
Tusk comes running up and tries to tackle on top of the other guy too. And the guy moves and Tusk hits you. You don't take any damage, but he doesn't get him. Eugene.
Alright, so I'm on the ground.
Everyone, the rest of them are backing away except this guy who is just, he can't get away yet.
And I don't really have a shot at him because he's grabbed.
Oh yeah, he's got Tusk around him, he's got him around him.
So I don't know any of you coming back, so is there anybody else who looks, the rest of them either down or running away at this point?
Yes.
Well, then I will keep concentrating on my illusory form just in case they get the idea to turn around. But otherwise, I guess at this point, I'm going to stand back up, and then I will use all of my movement and then an action to move to join them. And
Okay.
just, I guess I have that pistol still in my hand, and then once I get near them, I'll just try and keep an eye out for those guys and see if I need to shoot this guy when I get another turnaround. And well, how far was I? I mean, actually, was I more than 15 feet away from them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to use my action move to
Yeah.
get closer.
And you hear whirring in the sky. But not one. And the guy tries to back away from you, and you've got him held, but he pulls back as much as he can.
I didn't go this round.
No, you're there now. That's Eugene's after. Oh, you're right. You were before Eugene. I'm sorry. You were there first.
Before Cal.
Yeah. Before Cal.
Well, how many of these people are running away?
4 are
Two.
are out or down. 1 is left that it is
And he's
not
running?
injured.
2 of the guys ran.
2 ran
So, okay, so those
from the
ones-
illusion. They backed away and they disappeared into the
They
same storm.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Can't see them.
2 of them were injured. One of them,
What about the injured?
one of them was killed. One of them was injured.
Right, and what's that one doing?
He's trying to back away as fast as he can, but he's limping away.
Okay.
And then this guy that's in hand-to-hand combat with him is trying to get away, and he knifed him.
I'm gonna shoot the one that's escaping. Another 9. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's injured. Actually,
Guy across the room.
yeah, you hit him. You hit him.
What do these things do? I just wanted these energy things.
Yeah. They do a D10.
Okay. 2.
And he drops.
Okay. And you still have. Oh, this was the one that was kind of hiding behind you, right? There was one that's one that you're grappling with.
Yes, he is currently in the scramble.
And then Eugene did your what you were doing already.
Okay.
And back up to Kevin.
Yeah, can we, so we can't see the source of the burning?
No,
Does
because
it
here
sound
it's above you,
similar
so
to- We saw like a drone or something.
yeah,
come
it
off
sounds
the
like a
back.
drone.
You can shoot for the sound, maybe.
Can I begin to delay, wait and see, just until something becomes
Sure.
visible? All right, well,
Yes, you can hold action.
yeah, that's what I'll start.
Jake.
I'm gonna also ready an action to use my machine hacker ability as soon as I see one of these drones come within range.
Okay, Kyle.
So I still have him in his, still got him. I say to him, we advise your surrender now.
Does it sound like more than one drone?
Yes.
Sounds like multiple drones. Okay.
We advise your surrender and we believe you should call off your air support. Please, we have tried to be reasonable.
And he sees all the people around him, and he just his hands up. drops his knife. Well, the knife was already in here. He had already dropped the knife.
Into your back.
Yes.
Figured it was like right in the shoulder, just bam, right there. I was like, oh, what a nice new fashion.
Push it out from inside.
Yeah,
Flats.
I don't think I'm that tough. Not at level 1. So, I have a firm grip on him, but I bring him over to basically the rest of the group.
Yeah, Tusk helps make sure that he comes. Cliff,
Are these things are still up here, right?
they're somewhere up there.
So I'm going to try to take aim with. Well, does this thing have a sight of some kind on it, or?
Make me a wisdom check.
I rolled a 1, which
Nah.
is way under my wisdom.
These are guns you guesstimate with.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Eugene.
All right, so I'm now realizing the situation is literally in hand over here, but hearing the noise above, I'm going to start backing up, saying we might want to retreat a little bit. I don't know what those drones are up to, and I've got the magic melder finger ready for the sighting of one of these drones. So I'm kind of tapping into. So when Kel uses his magic, he is intuitive, right? So he just kind of connects to the energies around him through the power the Crucible gave him. And when he senses that one of these vessels is in range, he will shoot. Do you think he could get a general idea where they are by sound? Like it's probably
Maybe, but
so like
you'll be at
shoot-
disadvantage to shoot it.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot
Okay.
while backing up. So disadvantage. 14 and 18 though, plus 6.
18 will hit.
So 20.
Yeah, you hit with the 18.
Alright, so that's 6 points of force damage.
And a drone falls out of the sky.
How big is it?
Not big.
Big enough to pick him up.
And it doesn't look like it's armed.
I'm gonna ask our prisoner, his prisoner. What are those things here for?
To document your attack on us.
I think you got that backwards, pal.
The record will show that you fired on us first.
We tried to take the
And
infiltrator.
prisoner, against his will.
Yeah, he was He was in our territory, in our claim.
Wrong. Guess again.
Well, we'll see what happens in the news.
In the news? Really?
Yeah.
Court of public opinion?
Yeah, who would trust a
It's-
newscaster?
A coward's weapon if ever there was one.
He doesn't say anything.
How far out is your ship?
Half a mile. We're within the range. A little less than a mile at most.
If I pull up a display, like how much have they encroached from when they made their initial claim to where
If they
ours was?
have 50 or 100 yards tops, if that's happened.
But I mean,
It's hard to tell with
GPS
everything
signal.
shifting and all that.
Yeah.
Sand shifts and stuff like that.
I mean, is the problem that the claims are literally overlapping? Like,
Yeah, they
Venn
do overlap a
diagram
little
in
bit,
there in the
yes.
middle area?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, we are.
Well, right now,
Which would be
Friday,
disputed.
right now, I'm placing you in custody for unlawful incarceration. Anything else I can think of for now when the marshals get here?
I'm not resisting.
Good.
It's true, he is not resisting.
Looks like you resisted plenty when he shoved that knife in your shoulder.
Indeed. Would you do us a favor and pull out the knife?
Okay.
Just one quick motion, please.
There we go. Alright, well. Keller is keen to get back to the ship
Yeah.
and out of this.
Let's go back. And we'll take him.
Do we
Hmm?
really want this guy? What are we gonna do? I mean, I don't think they're gonna care what happens to one way or the other.
Do we want him to see the ship?
Obviously.
Certainly not in here.
Do I see where the drone that Kelvin shot falls out of the sky?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go pick it up.
Okay. You pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Take it with you.
take it with me
Okay.
and see what data it reported.
Okay.
What
So-
is your name, new friend?
Well, since I'm in custody with someone who isn't official, I'll hold on to that information.
We were just trying to be friendly.
Consensus seems to be to let you to turn your worthless carcass back to your own people.
Is he human?
Yeah.
My drone's recording all of this too, so we have our own.
So you can let me
record.
go back?
We'll pick this up in court.
Ah. He stands and walks with you, whatever you're doing.
Well, we'll just let him go.
In the back.
Oh, then he leaves. He heads back to the other direction.
Do we have like what's the name? The internet basically here.
Yeah, the sim.
So we're connected to the sim.
Yeah.
So my
Spotty here and there because of the storm.
So my
that's
bonded
fine.
companion here has been recording all of this. living
Yeah.
around. So I'm going to. I'm saying, well, they're going to share their data.
It's recording as much as it can in the sandstorm.
Right. I mean, it would see no more than I do. Right?
Yeah.
But
You can post this on Facebook.
yeah, effectively, I'm going to be like, look,
Start getting the court of public opinion.
I agree, yeah, right.
So I said, well, we saw our manager
That's
take
why I
away.
was like, really, that's where you're going?
And it's all
Yeah.
geotagged, so it shows roughly, I hope, enough that we're in this disputed area. We weren't in what was clearly their claim. We were within what we thought was our claim. I'll just like upload that, and
You mean when you get back to the ship or right here in the
if I can do it here, then I'll do it here. But otherwise,
You can do it here. You can do it anywhere.
Sure. I just want to
And
do it
you-
as quickly as possible because if there's a
Okay, and you see there's a news report about a vicious attack on a crew trying to protect their claim out in the gray, and they were someone refused to come to have a discussion, and so they could be interrogated about why they were in claim territory.
Right.
You know.
yeah. So I'm going to try and post some counter evidence. This is disputed territory.
And oddly, it shows that you were
Someone-
completely in their space.
yeah,
in
I'm
their
going to
claim.
my geo info. Hopefully.
Someone violating the civil rights of a mega corporation.
My NAP is being violated right now.
There you go.
I go into Spacebook, which is like Facebook,
Yeah.
and I create a bunch of bot accounts, and I start like having all the bot accounts.
Like
Out here in
Liking.
Out here in the desert.
yeah.
You think the sim hasn't figured out what bots are yet? They have to be better than today's Facebook, today's internet.
The head of Mark, what's his name, Zuckerberg,
In a jar.
has made sure that the engineering is kept up with.
It's just his face that remains.
His nose.
Face of Zuckerberg.
And a floating bat.
Yeah.
So you get back to the, and you realize that when you get back that the drone wasn't recording; it was broadcasting.
It was live feed.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, except for the spoof geotagging that showed it or somewhere we were. So hopefully mine will be like, look, we were where we were supposed
What do you mean spoofed?
What? Well, it wasn't showing us in the disputed territory, was it? Or was it?
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it just didn't include the fact that that was also part of our claim.
Oh, yeah. That's your
Yeah.
take on it.
I see.
Sure.
It's like a Venn diagram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
We're in a little sliver and
Yeah.
we're overlap.
Yep.
Well, that's, yeah, I was throw it out there. I don't know.
You get back to the ship, and Eddie is there. Like, what was going on out there? I heard all this whirring. Like there were drones everywhere. It sounded like.
I have a gunshot wound, by the way. It's just all on the same page.
Thumbs up. Congratulations on being blooded, Lori.
Jake, make me an intelligence roll.
That is a 19.
Nice.
There's no way he could have heard the drones from here.
Different drones?
for... Hey! Eddie.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah. Just wanted to
Say your name. What you doing?
Cliff, you get a message that the Kaled food will be dropping within the hour.
I'll tell Tuss. The turtle's gonna get fed within an hour.
Oh, excellent. He'll be happy.
Eddie, you have really good hearing. Everything's okay. Do you have first aid supplies? I could really...
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, you're hurt. Yeah, come on. And he brings you over, and he has a medical kit. I mean, it does more than just first aid. It's he goes, hold on, let me get, and he does his medical stuff, which is minor, easy to do stuff. He can't do anything complicated. Yeah, Tuscan and Eddie will both do it. They have medical equipment, medical gear for minor stuff. Yeah,
A little bit.
right. They put a glue on you that seals it, and it'll be good in a day.
While he's doing that, do I notice while now I'm in close proximity to him that he has any sort of transmitting devices on him, like a
Nope.
personal computer or anything?
Nope.
You did well today. You did not lose too much blood.
Losing any blood is too much.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
How does weapons work? I can't wait to try one myself.
Yes, those weapons. We take it you found those on the ship. We would like to take a look at one or two of those when we'll have a moment.
Here. Pistol.
There's also rifles, you see.
So I'm
Dun, dun, dun. Hey, you think that maybe he communicated with them and they're gonna offer him some cut of the whole thing if he betrays his dad? You know, like.
Is this being discussed in characters?
And in front of him.
No, I saw the realization on Cliff's face, and he was like, "What?" And I was
Yeah.
like,
Or
Yeah.
they sent drones over here that's recording everything over here because they want to find out what we found and claim it. I don't know if there was a separate set of drones or if Eddie's not what he appears to
I think he's not. It's like a transformer, more than meets the eye.
Or they just want to know what we found so they can snake it later.
Are other than the drone that I brought back with me, do we hear any more whirring or?
No. Well, the drone you brought back isn't worrying either now.
Now.
Hasn't been since you shot it down.
Yep, thanks to First Bolt. All right, well, back on the ship, what do we do now? Because they're clearly going to try and take this thing away from us.
Is it just us? Who's with us?
Us, the son, and the father, right?
Us, Tusk,
Yeah.
and Eddie, and we're soon somebody's going to have to go get the food for that.
Eddie, go get the Caleb backed away a little bit from the vehicle so the drop it doesn't come too close and hit the ship. It won't come down too hard. Move the Caleb a little, yeah.
Move the
Tusk
Caleb
does,
out.
Yeah.
So you're the
A little
only
bit.
one that's had this insight.
Yeah. At the moment. You can,
Once Eddie's out of earshot, I'll say, "Hey Tusk, can you do us a favor and go make sure? Is there any way that you could make sure we check your claim to secure the perimeter of the ship? Because it seems like they were broadcasting some sort of data that we're within their claim."
I just want to verify.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you verify that your claim.
yeah, I'll go check my claim, my ping.
And when he's away checking his
It's a good
ping,
idea.
I'll convey to you guys. I don't think that Tusk Jr. would have been anywhere near close enough to hear the whirring of those drones. It's almost like he knew that was going to happen.
Now that you speak of it, it does seem odd. There was the din of the storm did put a damper on We only barely heard the air support as we got closer.
So Kelleran turns away and says, computer, do you have exterior sensory data from the past X, however many minutes it's been since we left the ship? Since we left the ship, was there any drones flying above?
I have minimal access. Well, everything is under the sand.
Almost he's communicating directly with them. Like
Yeah, any
like direct.
computer, any transmissions being generated from within his ship out in that time period?
Negative.
I also tried to see if he had any sort of personal computer or data pad, and I couldn't see
He
any.
might be back at the Kayla now.
Totally fair.
Well, maybe we could ask, hey, how come you heard the drones? We were too far away.
That's fair enough.
Maybe they got drones up there, you know.
We would be hesitant to tip our hand too quickly.
Well, my life's an open book. I'll leave the line to you guys. Not my forte.
How far were they dropping the food away from where we are? Close.
A couple hundred yards.
Okay.
You just don't want it to land on the ship or something. Break the landing gear.
Is that something that needs? So they'll be dropping it, and then
They can
Eddie-
take care of that.
okay.
Yeah.
So, we could continue searching the ship. I suppose we'll eventually have to take a look at these remains. But is there anything we could think to do to? I mean, Kelleran is going to admit privately now that Tusk and Tusk Jr. are like, look, I'm not particularly interested in or concerned about their claim. I appreciate that they have a financial interest here, but I'm interested in this data.
As mine.
It looks like we've got the data that we need. We just need time to interpret it. I'm more interested about the story of the ship and where it's been in the heavens. And I guess to find that out, we need to take this dust to the temple and take it in that direction and let Tusk and Eddie and the law and the foundation sort out the claim business. I don't think we'll ever win against a well-funded organization in the court of public opinion.
How are we thinking of getting to this place on foot?
100 miles.
Well, there's a land vessel right there.
There's a land vehicle on the thing.
Right,
Yeah.
so we'll use that.
The land vehicle's inside the ship.
Yeah.
How do we get
It's
it
upside
outside
down.
the ship?
Yeah, I guess we couldn't.
You could dig out from the back. You could have them dig there first.
Because there's a hatch, you know.
There's a hatch.
That's not-
But then here is the question that we have to answer. If Tusk is trying to lay claim on this ship and all of its contents, what makes you think he's going to let us take the land vehicle that is part of the contents?
Well, he might let us do was just to go out.
But
Yeah.
And he also agreed to get the remains there too.
yeah,
He
that's
had to.
fair.
Right. So I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think that we'll have to leave Tusk and Eddie here to their own devices and try to right the ship so we can get at least to continue on with that while we're gone.
Which I'm also hesitant to do because I'm not necessarily certain that Eddie.
Is not working at cross purposes to the rest of us.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to let Tusk know. I'm going to tip Tusk to that possibility. He's a tough bird. He's spent his entire life out in this, in the gray. So I'm not. And I think he knows his son too. But I think that it's important that he be aware of that.
Right.
They were kind of at cross purposes before, weren't they?
Yes.
Bickering?
Well,
They have different approaches, right?
And the father seemed to believe that the son was incapable of moving off in the gray on his own.
Maybe the son doesn't want to. He's gonna cash in and get out.
Yeah.
We admit it is a bit tiring up here.
Yeah.
so when they come back, I'm going to find time to pull Tusk aside to tell him.
Well, Eddie doesn't come back. He's out there because the food's
Oh.
going to be dropping, so he's prepping the drop.
Listen, Tusk, we're going to take. We want to see if you'd be amenable to letting us use the land vehicle so that the rest of us can fulfill our promise to the computer to put the pilot to rest while you and Eddie press on with the.
Okay, I got a lot of inventorying to do still.
And just so you know, and we'll tell him his suspicions that it wasn't very, it's not likely, it's probably not likely that your son was able to get a read on everything that was going on at such a distance without some sort of electronic aid.
Or inside knowledge.
Or both.
But he's an idiot.
Well, that may be true, but even a broken chronometer is right 2 times a day.
All right. I'll see if I can beat it out of him.
I wouldn't necessarily. Well,
If that's the case, he needs a whooping, maybe.
maybe that being the case, you know your business with your son better than we do, but
I mean, I don't think he would do that. I mean, I'm his dad.
How would he have heard what was going on out there? He was the one who made the comment, hey, what was all that ruckus out there?
I don't know.
would he have had? Well,
I'll have a conversation with him then.
Just be careful.
I will. Thanks for the.
Yeah, I recognize
It
that
is.
maybe he did hear drones. They were just drones over his ship too. Possible, but
Unlikely.
the Kelvin's going to ask a question to the computer. Computer, if a just to update you on the status, there is another group of humanoids to the
West.
to the west of here that may come and try to forcefully claim this your vehicle and you. I assume you have self-defense mechanisms in place. I would hate for these cores and the remains of the pilot and yourself to fall into their hands. Do you have contingencies for such occasions? I'm asking whether it's safe to leave it without it.
Weapon systems are not usable at the moment. We can defend the ship by lockdown.
Computer.
We can defend ourselves by lockdown.
Computer, revoke privileges for Eddie unless he is accompanied by one of the 5 of us whilst on the ship.
Where's 5?
Affirmative.
We also advise against, in the event of the ship's capture, of overloading the core. We don't think that would be a good idea for anyone.
No. All right. Well, that just makes Kelvin feel more comfortable leaving because this is like super valuable
Yeah.
data, at least for him. Maybe no one else cares, but I do.
They've already shown they're not averse to playing fast and loose with not only with the claims, but also with the boundaries. And I don't see any reason to think that this incursion was just an isolated incident.
Right.
So we're going to be gone and come back as quickly as we can.
Okay.
Let's just be alert.
Computer, might I clarify that when I say accompanied by us, I do mean alive.
Affirmative. Understood.
Important point. Hey, Tusk, how long would it take to get this hatch back in this cargo area? Clear of this hatch.
Oh, you need that cleared first? Oh, I guess you do if you need to get that vehicle out.
Yeah. that'd be
I'll
nice.
put the automatons on it. A few hours, 6 hours maybe. 4 to 6 hours, it should be cleared enough to open the hatch.
And then in the interim, I guess Cal would be searching the rest of the ship. And I believe I have an ability.
I want to look over now that I'm back and not being stabbed.
You guys are a little tired too,
Yeah, it
by
might
the
be time
way.
to
Has it been?
rest.
Yeah.
It's been a full day.
Huh?
It's also almost 3 o'clock. It might be a good time to take a quick
Yeah, it will be. So what are you guys going to do now, real quick? I just want to know
Our
before.
plan is to dig out the...
Right, the automatons are going to dig. It'll
Right.
take them about 6 hours. It'll open it up to get the hatch open. So in the interim, what are you doing? Resting? You're looking. You said you want to look at stuff, but all of you are pretty tired. You just
Yeah.
got out of a fight. You haven't slept in at least almost a whole day.
Well, then, yeah, we can
So-
we can
Rest,
rest.
sleep.
We should rest.
Yeah.
And then once the craft is dug out, we can go
Okay.
east.
Where's everyone resting? In the K-lid or in the ship or out in the
Resting in
sand?
the cruise quarters in the ship.
They're upside down.
Fine.
Oh, you can put a mattress down or something. Yeah. Okay.
Do we want like washes?
We will take the first watch.
We should do that.
Yeah, we should.
Wake me up next.
We shall.
I'll go in the. I guess all the light's always the same here, so it doesn't matter about
Yep.
the darkness.
Yeah. Everyone has on their device that tells them like every 8 hours, so that you understand you need when it's time to get some sleep. Because our metabolism are still Earth-based, the Earth ones, and the other ones, it's hard to tell without the sun changing.
Right. All right. Well, let's just
Okay.
we'll just.
All right. Yeah, this is a
Go
good place to
around.
take a break.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
We'll be back.
I'm going to put an intermission. And welcome back from our intermission. When last we left, everyone was deciding what they were going to do to kind of get rest while the hatch was being cleared by the automatons that Tusk has.
Dig the
So-
sand out to get
Yeah.
the ground vehicle out so we can go east to the putative site of the ancient temple.
Right. And everyone was tired. They decided to take a rest. They were going to split a watch, so Cliff, you were taking first watch, right?
You were first.
You were taking
Someone was
first
going to
watch.
go first, Rach's going to go
Okay.
second, and then I was just going to wake up whoever seemed to be fitfully sleeping next or whatever.
Yeah, okay. I mean, 6 hours, you only need 2.
Yeah,
You
right.
even need more than that. Tusk comes back in while actually you're on first watch, right?
Yeah.
So, and 3 or so
like-
hours go on, and
That camera's frozen.
what is it?
Not on there, it's not, but the display is. So.
Check that real quick.
I'll figure it out.
So
No one can see that I'm not sitting here. Yeah.
So the 3 hours passes. It's calm. Everyone's snoring or whatever they do. Tusk, he sleeps a little too. He comes in and rests a little bit. And then after 3 hours, I guess you get Rafe up.
Wraith. Wraith, it is time for you to begin your watch.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
And it's Rafe.
Wraith, we will try and remember that. As he walks off saying, Wraith. Boots, boots. Goes to take his rest.
And
It's quiet.
you go get some sleep. Tusk he wakes up after. He doesn't sleep a lot, but like, you really think that I should be concerned about Eddie? I've been thinking about it, and it could be. I mean, he's never wanted this to be his whole life. I just wouldn't have expected that.
You know him better than I do. He's your son. But he's had a little bit of an attitude since we got here. And I don't know how he would have been party to something he couldn't have possibly heard without the benefit of technology. Do you want to ask him? I'll go with you if you want to confront him about it.
No, I'm not ready to talk to him about that. I want to get him. I want to look at his comm equipment.
Oh, you're one of those dads.
I'm going to talk to him, but I want to know what I'm asking about first.
I
Rather know the facts first before getting the opinion.
don't disagree.
And while you're in there, you are sleeping, Soren, and you're on a mattress on the ceiling, basically upside down. You know, it's on the floor to you, and you're looking over to the side, and you see a panel open, a really small one, and something like a really long centipede, kind of, but big, like half the size of you.
It's big, right? Half the size?
Yeah. And, I mean, it's not a centipede, but it's like a centipede. And it has, like, spines on the front, like 4 of them.
But it's an insect, right? It's not a machine. For
Right,
instance,
right. Roll initiative.
Everybody?
Nope.
I went to go to bed.
Hey, which one's a mile off from everybody else?
7.
That'd be nice.
It gets right up to you. And it goes to sting at you. And you kind of It just misses you. What are you doing?
Well, due to combat training and what have you, I always keep weapons handy, so I
assume.
not so sleepishly anymore fumble for my shock ball.
Okay.
And get ready and just try and bring it down with the bug.
Swing.
No, slightly less.
You have to loosen that side.
Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. What'd you roll? Okay.
So
Yeah, you miss.
I'm obviously still a little hazy.
Yeah, yeah, you were sleeping for a while. It's like you just kind of woke up to it and like, oh. And it goes to sting and it completely misses. Your foot moves out of the way of it, and you realize it starts to move its body kind of in mass closer to you, rather than just bringing the head to bear. It looks like it's trying to bring more of itself to bear on you. What are you doing?
It is getting bigger. I'm going to try one more time to smash the bug.
Rafe, make me a perception check.
12.
You hear some commotion down the corridor.
I'll get a commotion.
Yeah, like movement or something being thrown around or something.
And it should be still quiet. So I get up, I'm going to grab this energy rifle and
Okay.
make
You
my
start
way
heading down the
towards
corridor.
noise.
Smash bug.
Okay, that's something more along with what I wanted. 17, 18, 19.
Oh yeah, you hit hard. What does it do damage-wise? Do the damage?
It does 1d6.
And it shocks.
Yes, it has an energy burst. Which I believe is I think it's a D, like a D8 or something afterwards. I'm going to get your D6s.
Roll, do the damage.
Yeah, first. Straight 6.
And roll the and that was the damage with the D8, or the D8 is after that? It's shock damage after that.
After that, it's shock damage. So
Do that?
No, I'm doing that. 3. As the mall crackles to life with a burst of electricity.
And it backs away from it. But as it does, it brings the back of itself towards you. What's your AC?
I'm going to say I don't have my shield on me, so 16.
Oh, it misses. Barely. That's good.
Now that this thing is getting more into
Roll initiative, Cliff, when you get to the door.
Yeah.
Cliff. Rafe, sorry.
17.
17. Oh, nice. You get to the door, and you see him, you see Soren, swinging his weapon at the room.
He's engaged with nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he may be half asleep. Like his eyes are sort of openish, but not quite openish.
I'll call out to him. Soren!
Do I hear him?
As you're swinging, do your damage.
Rafe,
Swing.
Rafe! There's some sort of bug, some sort of creature here. Get the others, quickly!
And you see the creature turn and go into that little hole in the wall, and a little door goes down. You see him looking at something like on a wall that isn't there, and he's staring at something.
But the wall looks normal to me.
Yeah.
It just left. It's in the walls.
It what?
You don't see it?
I didn't see anything. I
It
saw
filled
you.
up half the room. Some... What's that? Or that
Computer.
Yes?
Was Soren was just... Do your records indicate Soren was just
was just here in this hallway with another life form?
No, records show he was doing weapons training,
I was asleep.
apparently.
I was asleep, and then I heard something in this. What's that creature that from Earth that long legs and a snake? A snake came out.
It sounds to me like you were still asleep this entire time.
No, I know it. We were awake. We saw it. We quickly got to our weapons, and then attempted to dispatch it before it could.
Did it touch you in any way?
No, thankfully we were too quick for it. But
I don't know Ashen Forge very well, so I don't know if I mean, obviously you're agitated right now.
no, he looks around to see that the thing is there and just
It's not there.
deactivates the shock mall, which has been just crackling.
So I'm going to go over to the wall and touch the area where he was staring.
Seems like just wall.
It was right there. There was a hatch.
You tell me where it went through. I don't see it here.
Right here. Right. No, it
Doesn't
was
seem to be
here.
anything there. Or you don't seem to find any seams or anything, so.
We swear it was here.
I'm not saying you're making it up, but it sounds to me like you were having a hallucination or a dream, a very vivid dream.
Perhaps we have been having dreams, but none so much that we have begun combat drills. None so vivid. We apologize for giving you concern. We suggest, though, you do keep your eye out for this snake, if there is indeed one.
I'll keep an eye out.
We think we need a bit more rest.
Go back to sleep.
We will change quarters, however. Before he does that, he takes like a cube, like a storage cube, and just pushes it to where he thinks it was.
Okay,
And just goes off muttering, there.
right. Change rooms.
He sleeps in the bathroom this time.
Yeah. Don't sleep very well.
Much more defensive. I'm gonna.
Tiny.
I mean, now that I'm like fully engaged and awake, I mean, I'm just gonna walk around and make sure that there's nothing. Well, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna actively see if there's anything that might have caused that hallucination. You know, like for instance, if there's a gas leak. That's one
Right.
example now. So.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be anything like that.
Okay.
No.
And I didn't have any dreams that I recall
Nope.
like that. Okay. So I'll do my watch and then
You finish your watch.
I'll wake everybody.
And you don't run into any more creatures.
No. Okay.
And I guess after the time you wake everyone up, Tusk comes down and they got the Eddie told me the automatons are done clearing the hatch area, so we should be able to clear it, open it up.
Did you talk to him?
I looked through his stuff. I didn't see anything. I'm still going to talk to him.
Well, maybe there's no need now.
Oh, there's need. I need to know. So let's get that vehicle out of there.
Okay.
And you go in there and you guys have to flip the vehicle. And it's not light enough to just throw over. You need all of you to do it.
Is there some sort of loader or
Yeah,
how do
it's
you
on the
put it?
floor now. There's like a winch that can move her all around and pull a chain, but it's on the wrong side. You can totally do it.
Soren begins rolling up his sleeve.
And we searched all the rooms back here.
All that you could access.
Right. Well, then, yeah, I mean, Kelleran will help in what little way he can.
So you flip the vehicle, and it takes all of you, but you can flip it. And it has 4 balls where instead of wheels, so it can go in any direction. Yeah, omnidirectional. It has like a super fine space between the wheel itself and the mount, It looks like it's magnetically held, the wheels, so it's not really a big deal. Even if sand does slide around in there, it would just slide out of there too.
Like
So
giant
it's-
ball bearings.
Yeah, right. And there's enough seats in there for 8. You don't need all 8,
Right, nice.
obviously.
These things were bigger than.
It has a dome to it, so you can see 360 around, not 360, 180. You can see all the way around you, but just not below you, obviously.
And I
Seats.
got a mag sealed jar of bone dust ready to go.
There you go.
Click in. Click.
Looks like we're going on an adventure.
We thought we were already on one.
Jack, make me a vehicle roll.
Okay.
You're driving, right? Jack, you're gonna be
Sure,
a
why not?
pilot.
Like flying a plane.
Right.
2D flight.
So you're driving a killer.
Stay shooting around my girls.
You can figure it out, the controls. They're not that complicated. It's, it's a land vehicle. How tough could it be?
So slow.
It is. It's not slow, but it's faster than walking. So you roll it out after the hatch opens, and when you get out, it's just like, I'm going to close the hatch. I don't want to leave anything open. He closes it. When it closes, you can see that the paint where the hatch is covered in runes, like writing. And a lot of it is scraped up and stuff. There's like a paint on it that is all scraped through, and underneath it you can see there's like a bronzy or brassy color, like the metal or whatever is like a weird color. It's not like a steel kind of metal, whatever it is.
Throughout this experience, we've been searching this thing, we've examined the hull. Has there ever been a time when we could find a piece of that metal that's small enough to bring with us if we wanted to study it later?
No, it looks like it's just the hull, whatever it is.
No, can't make a scrape.
You mean a piece of hull metal?
Maybe.
Yeah.
For studying.
I mean, you could probably pry a piece off or something, or scrape it away, maybe,
Yeah, you gotta be able to take
I mean,
some
it's-
sample or other.
somehow.
Yeah, that's what
You have to, I mean, you can't do it now. There's not enough,
Eventually.
you have to figure out a way of getting
Well,
it off.
I'd at least take a video recording of
Sure.
the writing on
Yeah.
add it to the database.
We have crayons for just this such an occasion.
Great.
One day crayon.
We hear that human children use them to color pictures.
This is our claim, our
Interesting.
pencil wrote in.
Yeah.
We broke our writing utensils when we were young. Not on purpose. Mostly not on purpose.
I think we're ready to go.
So you get in the vehicle and you start steering it, and it's interesting because you can really control direction really well in this thing, better than any physical non-hover kind of vehicle. And it also handles hills, ridges, bumps, all that. The center is very flexible, so it can kind of like go like that over something in the middle. So it can really handle a lot of different types of territory, of land. So you start heading out, and the longer you go, you ride, the darker it starts to get. It takes about an hour, and then you start to see it like a real difference in light, which is very interesting to you because you two, because you almost never go to the dark side of the planet.
Right.
It's also not particularly comforting as you go forward that the light eventually just goes black. And it's a pretty quick change. It's like a half an hour. It goes from dim to pitch.
Fish. And what's the effect of normal lighting on it? Like flashlights, headlights? I mean,
It's like headlights at driving at night. Did the camera go off?
Yeah.
Battery?
It's not plugged in. It's in those small black box. We're going to take a moment.
One second, folks.
That would do it.
Also, do you know what the aspect ratio of the other camera was supposed to be? Because when it
Got unplugged, and I plugged it back in, it almost sort of stretched, but it's not filling up this entirety.
DC 13 con save, and then if they fail it, their movement is reduced to 10 because they're getting shocked. It's a riot weapon. Riot weapon. Shock stick.
The thing that you were using?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure because I thought it was either a D8 or some sort of effect. So it matters a little, but for future reference.
Where it's supposed to be.
I'm not quite sure if I should be staring at you or the microphone.
I know.
No, I stare.
Straight at the camera.
Such a great at the camera.
At the camera?
Stare.
Well, I don't know.
It might be the zoom on the camera. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's that camera.
Remember
Sorry, folks.
the organ music comes up. And now.
Tell me if this changes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Zoomed way in.
That's
That's in.
where it was.
That's
No, that's
all
where
the way up.
That's
all the
in.
way in.
wrong, the other direction. That's
Back
as good
out.
as you
That's
get,
as
yeah.
far back as it
Which
goes.
is
So
where it
that's
was.
kind of where it was. It's okay. We can figure it out.
Yep.
Because on the other overlay, it's probably still correct.
Yep. We'll see when we get there. We'll fix it
Yeah.
between. And everyone's, on it. So. You two may want to scooch in a little when Jake gets there.
I think we're good. Person playing and stream engineering simultaneously.
Yeah.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah. People watch me run around like a chicken with my head cut off.
So, as you're riding out, it's like having with the lights on the vehicle are like headlights. They can change direction and what have you. But when you get out there, you can see the desert dunes. You can feel them kind of fading away as you get to like harder, rockier kind of surface.
So like in Pitch Black,
Classic.
where it was in fact pitch black,
Yeah.
there you could artificial lighting sources would work. It was just so but they would. It was really a limited area because everything was dark.
Yes.
So insofar as if we had the most powered telescope, a flashlight, that would go as far as it went. But I mean, we can still use powered lights, right?
Yes.
For limited
Yes.
facility. Okay.
But without the lights, the stars are amazing.
Yeah. And is there a record of this side of the planet being inhabited by creatures, or?
Well, there's creatures all over the planet.
But it's not like.
Yeah, this side is less less studied than the other side because it's just harder to do the study. But there are dangerous things here and on the other side. On the light side has its things, the dark side has its things.
It's like when you study the sun. You want to go when it's nighttime so that you don't get burned out.
All right.
And you start getting closer to the position you think it would be at, and it starts to become the ground starts rising pretty sharply all of a sudden, and then you realize the vehicle can't get further than where it is, and you have probably another mile before you get to the exact point.
20 mile up.
Go the rest of the way on foot, huh?
Yeah.
Looks like we're on foot.
I can't say it's my favorite thing to do, but I guess we have to hike.
What's the temperature like?
It's colder, for sure. When it goes from the light to the dark side, there's a very big change in temperature. But that's what the gray really is that's the position where all the temperature's changing. It's here probably 40 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius. So it's cold.
Bracing
It's
chill.
not ice, but it's cold.
Right.
Yeah. And you're warm. You have jackets. It's not like you came out here without any. Anything ready?
Environmental protection.
Brought our space jacket.
Ah, what a bracing chill.
What's the terrain look like ahead?
Well, you can only see, it's pretty mountainy here.
Yeah.
Like you're at the edge of it looks like a bluff maybe, where it goes like that kind of stuff. It's climbable and traversable, but not for a vehicle. The vehicle can't get there. And you can only see so far anyway.
So everybody stay close. And
He's something-
I'm looking at you. Where do you go? I don't know. He's a mile that way.
Oh, I am being accosted by the natives.
We are being accosted.
Great.
Only one part. They took his arm.
Yeah, only one part of me is being accosted. One part of us.
So, all right. Get the.
So you start climbing. And you climb up to where you think the position is, and it levels off like the top of a butte.
Oh, nice.
Cal gets totally distracted by the stars. Like, alright, it's naming constellations and systems and stuff. It's not constellations. Because when you're on a particular planet, they look in a particular way. When you're on a different planet, they look completely different. Systems, stars, nebulous.
I do not have a flashlight.
You don't have one out.
Yeah, I don't need one either.
You can see it in
I can
the
see it in pitch black.
Well, we have.
You guys can have one. I
Well, we actually have night vision glasses.
Yeah, you have goggles.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
So
so
you're okay right now.
notify everyone else we're here, right? With the light.
Right, that would
And-
need to load the muscle.
The ground here is unusually smooth for a mountain area.
It's smooth. Now, when you say smooth,
There's dirt and dust on it, but it's not. It doesn't feel like there's bumps of roughness.
It's like someone has intentionally hewn something out of the rock.
I mean,
And then it got old, and then aged. It
So
got
it's like
aged.
smooth stone.
Yeah.
It's smooth stone, and it's stone, right? It's not
Yeah,
it's
mountain.
not glass, for instance.
No.
Like some,
No.
It's shale. Shale?
Or is it like an ancient road, like a manufactured substance?
It feels pretty smooth. I mean, there's still dust and there's some pieces of rock that have fallen over the time that's been here, but it seems relatively smooth. Not for a big area, but for maybe 50 yards.
Smoother than it is on either side of that?
Yes, and then it goes around it.
It seems to me as if someone has hewn some sort of path out of the rock. Perhaps we're on the right track.
And then there's a cliff face on the other side of
Is
it.
there any opening in the cliff face?
That's cool.
It looks like it's kind of a relatively smooth wall to the cliff face.
Let's go. Let's go. Does this flat area seem to head right into that cliff face?
Yeah,
Maybe there's
It
an
heads towards
entrance we need to uncover.
Perhaps.
What do we have to climb?
we will probably have to climb.
Well, Kelvin is going to approach the wall and be investigating for, doorbells and things like that.
yeah.
Soren will approach as well and look for any openings in the up.
Yeah.
As
When
well.
you get there, as you're looking, you think there's a seam in the wall that goes straight up.
Just see if we can find another one.
Just how far up does the seam go?
Well, you can't really see very far, but it just goes straight up.
Like I can see 90 feet in the dark, and I see
Yeah.
like a line that goes up the rock face.
Yeah, it
90
keeps going
feet,
up
and
there.
It just keeps going off into the dark.
Yeah, but it's a pretty fine line, so you can only see as far as you can. A certain amount of that you can tell is this line, this seam.
Interesting.
I guess I'll go laterally in each direction, see if I can find another one, or...
Yeah, and you get to a place where you see a very flat piece of wall, and dug in maybe a half a millimeter or millimeter, but obviously square.
Yeah. The door. I don't suppose anybody brought a key?
We didn't have any explosives.
Oh, alright. I'm looking for a panel or some sort of interface on either side of the square or on the square itself.
When you touch it, it lights up.
Oof.
Hey.
It just lights up, and it's just got like a glow around it, like a blue glow, and there's a slight shimmer underneath the whatever the material is.
Anybody know how to say open in ancient Etrurian? Speak, friend, and
Put your hand on the panel and see if that does anything.
yeah. I'm just gonna try and experiment with it. One hand, two hands.
Registered.
It says something speaks.
Yep, it says registered.
Can I have access to the temple? We're returning.
Nothing else is said.
I think I'll go and try it myself.
Registered.
I think we all need to.
Registered.
What does it say?
Registered. Tusk does it. Registered.
I do it with my foot.
Doesn't do anything.
Fine.
And the door begins opening.
Put your hand on it. It's like rejected. All right.
It starts rising up from the ground. It's quiet, but it rises and rises and rises and rises
Whoa.
and rises. And when it stops moving, you see lights start to blink on the inside. And everything inside there looks like that weird material that the ship is made of. And there's runes wrapping around a tunnel, like on the ship. And unlike the ship, which looks very modern and technological, this looks more like something ancient and classical. Like the runes follow interesting shapes. There's decorative arts have been used. Craftsmanship has created flourishes along the walls and along the floors. The tiles are inlaid with lines that, as you start to look at them, they start to get a little bit of a glow, almost like a bioluminescence, and they move like vines through the floor.
Clarify something for you. What was it that just kept rising? What
Like a wall, like a door, but really wide, like big enough maybe
and it was coming out of the floor.
for a ship.
It was coming out of the floor,
Yes, out of the ground,
out of the ground. And how far up did it go?
at least as high as he could see, and then it stopped at some
And
point.
this is a doorway
It's a huge doorway, or
leading into a tunnel. Or
Yeah, but a giant
or a
tunnel.
hallway, or
Yeah,
Wouldn't be
but a
as
giant
strict as if
tunnel.
it was for the ship.
Like a hangar bag.
Can I pick up a rock nearby and toss it into the hallway? Does anything happen to it?
no.
Well, doesn't look like the floor's gonna give way. Someone's gotta take the first
well, we
step.
hear it go tap tap tap.
Yeah, you see it going.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, walk in.
Can I walk in?
Twice about it.
You walk in.
Right.
And you-
recording it all for science.
And it's lit in here now, right?
Yeah, the lights start going on, but the lights are not like light bulbs. There's light illuminating through the stonework in these patterns of vines and runes and shapes and things like that. There's no like light, no lamp fixtures or anything like that. The light is from the room. When you step in, you realize that the cold from outside immediately is not cold. It just, the temperature becomes comfortable.
Looks like the AC still works. Continue to head in. Just walk down this hallway.
And you walk in, and as you go, the vines keep rolling light out in front of you, and from behind you, they start rolling back. So the light seems to stay where you need it,
Does
rather
the
than
door
everywhere.
stay open?
Yeah. And as you continue down the corridor, you can see it goes very straight, and it narrows down as far as you can see. The horizon, it just kind of fades into a black point. But as you're walking, you realize it never narrows. And you walk maybe half an hour continuing this.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. And then it stops in an area that's just a big circle. And you can see that the vines hit this circle edge, wherever this area is, and there's more ornateness there, but it's different ornateness than the vines leading you here. There's also holes in the floor in different spots.
How large?
The holes, different sizes. Some are small, some are bigger, what have you.
How exact do you think we need to get with laying this thing to rest?
Well, let's.
Well, we weren't given specific instructions,
No.
like in the Holy of Holies, underneath running water.
Thin words or whatever.
Right.
Right?
They were supposed to lay it to rest in the temple.
Well, I mean, Kel will approach the closest hole and look into it.
And it looks like it would be. Let's see what this one is.
We don't.
This looks like it might have been something to feed fuel or liquids to something. If something could be put into it and maybe supply material to the ship if the ship came in.
Oh, so this is like a hangar bay. Interesting. The ship could land and.
That's why I was curious about the purpose of the ship, because it's an odd material to use for a ship. It might be a ceremonial ship as well.
Oh my gosh. Is it a space hearse?
That's what I was thinking. Especially with all of the carving on the outside, I thought exactly.
Well, technically now it is.
A funeral barge.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, so Kel wants to continue exploring. I mean, I guess recording all these runes is super interesting, but I mean, is there doorways around this room? This room's otherwise
Well,
empty,
is
right?
this
it's
terminus?
really big,
Oh, okay.
and then on the other side, there's one continuation of the hall that's smaller, more for a person.
That's probably the way.
Yeah. And there's no vessels though, right?
No.
It's empty.
No, the vessels seem to have missed. Make me a perception roll.
Sure.
Wisdom.
All right, so that is 19.
Your automaton has vine work glowing around it, on it.
But it seems to be functioning.
Yeah,
So it's as though the glowing lights have somehow leapt to this.
yeah.
Does it look like
Something
it's
like that.
just literally the surface, or is it like something?
Well, the surface is looks like glass or plastic or something.
Right.
Well,
Everything is internal.
Your
My guy, yeah.
Yeah.
and it's got these. Can we
It's
see
like
that?
lights, kind of like bioluminescent style
Around
lights
it.
that are wrapping.
So it's like a
It
probe
seems
or
like
something. Maybe it's a probe, maybe it's a
but it seems
probe
like it's
scanning.
inside it, not on the outside.
I'm gonna just quickly examine it. Does it look like it's an organic, like a virus, or is this
We're
just?
scanning it.
Doesn't it have any ill
No.
effects?
No, not that you can tell.
Maybe the lights here get all over everything in organic. I mean, they're not going on. They're not going on us
No.
or our
No.
possessions, right?
No.
Interesting.
You have your cactus? No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, that's duly noted. There's no other devices here, so just mine and the floor, so I can't analyze the device. Keep an eye on that. Tell me if it does anything weird. I mean, weirder than that.
We will make note.
Can you communicate with it to see if it's having any effect on it?
Yeah, I mean, so I basically can. I always know where it is, and I can kind of like see through its.
Can you tell? Can you see through it and see if it's having any impact on its sensory perceptions?
It is.
Oh, what is it doing?
It is seeing the room differently than you're seeing it.
In what way?
The runes are not there anymore. The walls are still there, obviously, but the runes have disappeared, and there's actually, it looks like it might be what could be code.
That's where. Oh, it's
All
all
over.
ruins, you mean?
Right. All the walls are covered in code. The floors are covered in code.
Is there a way for me to record?
But you don't
that
understand very
information?
much of it.
Can I I don't know if I can record. I don't know exactly how that works. Can I record that visually, screen cap it or something?
It can try.
Yeah, I'll try to instruct it to do so.
Yeah.
See if just so we can look at it later. See if it's look at the language we saw before.
Yes, kind of.
It's more something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently the lights there on the ship.
When you get the screen caps back,
Yeah.
they're in runes rather than code.
Yeah, if I look through its AV, I get these, that turns into code, kind of like in the core that we've been analyzing. Somehow, the lights allow it to see these runes differently. I mean, it doesn't work for me or you, I guess, but. And I'll describe more fully the experience of what it looks like.
If I put my sim visor down,
You see code.
is it similar to the way that I
Yes.
already interpret the world and see the sim?
Yes.
What's that supposed to mean exactly? This place is hooked into the sim, or we're in like an AR? What is this, like a giant AR? Augmented reality base or something?
But I'm in no way able to understand or discern or manipulate this code.
No. And most of it is code remnants or whatever that you don't understand or have not seen. Every now and then there's characters you see or recognize. Oh, okay. There's bits in there. And now you see the vines and the ornateness and the runes and the...
It's almost like some sort of physical manifestation of the sim. But not the sim that we know. Or at least I know. But something more ancient and more cryptic.
Does the sim have any relation to the crucibles?
Yes.
They do.
Yeah. It's the sim is part of the crucibles.
It's part of the crucibles.
Yeah.
So, is it possible then that whatever relationship the Torians have to the crucible, they may have some, or whatever understanding, or let's go back to whatever their involvement with the crucible, could it also somehow be different really as it relates to the sim?
It's entirely possible that this is some rudimentary prototypical prototype version of the sim, and that it's also entirely possible that, now that I'm thinking about it, the reason why the crucible in this system is unable to link up with the crucibles in the other systems is because it's a prototype and it's not running the same firmware,
It's a different crucible.
potentially.
Did we have any evidence to think that this crucible was different, besides its weirdly intermittent functionality?
Yeah, it has a lot of oddities. First, it has never been able to completely sync with the others. It is apparently mathematically getting closer, but it'll take hundreds of years for it to completely sync. So everybody's calendar here, if they were to base it on that, would be a little off. Every now and then, a ship that traverses it from here or into here disappears. Very rarely, but it's happened like twice, 3 times. It sometimes just stops functioning, which is really odd in and of itself. And nobody knows why this crucible became active. It was discovered because it became active, but every other crucible, there was a reason that it became active. Somebody found it first and then did something. This one became active and then it was discovered.
This one was already working. It was already online when it was discovered.
Yes.
Whereas other ones
Were discovered and then turned on.
I see.
It's entirely possible that the crucible in this system, if the Atorians created the transportation hub system, that this is a prototype.
Well, this could also be the first crucible that was turned on before all the others.
It could be entirely possible.
Might I suggest, can we go that
Keep
way?
saying that. Keep saying that. It's entirely possible.
It is entirely possible.
It's also partially possible.
Yeah, somewhat.
Let's try and narrow down our parameters.
Yeah, but I'm with that, Jack.
I'm starting to edge.
To the far door.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, you meant further,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
We're getting some feedback in the channel that potentially we don't need this middle microphone.
It's entirely possible.
Yes.
Throw the microphone.
Precisely.
Do you want to try turning it off and seeing if it works?
You could turn that one off. You can just unplug that one. You have to hold it.
Grab that drink. When you see we're getting feedback, you mean
Yeah, whatever. I'll just do
People are
it.
saying it.
Yeah, people in the chat.
are saying it may not be necessary. That Frank is too. What do they say?
Maybe we're getting too
That,
much.
so that there is a 3-to-1 ratio of distance to avoid spillover between
I
microphones.
see.
That
Ah,
that these microphones should be 3 times the distance away from each other as they are from the nearest subject.
I see.
So like you being
okay.
maybe 1.5 feet away from that one, the next one
should be 3 feet.
should be 3 to 4.5 feet away from that microphone.
Ah, that would create the echo issue.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a way to turn it off on the?
Yes.
If you know which mic it is.
This is number 2. Let me just turn it.
So you're edging towards the hallway.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
edging with him as well.
Any opportunity to get away from the group for a moment.
That's what I was thinking.
Excuse me, I'm going with part of the group.
Right.
You, sir, you go mine out of that gutter.
The edgers are.
Yeah. So we were saying.
So you guys are edging your way as a group towards that the tunnel on
Sorry
the
for the
other end.
interruption. Better audio quality is always worth it.
Yep. So Kelleran is continuing to follow, keeping an eye on his bonded companion, though, making sure well, checking in, you know, like as we go, close my eyes for a second, bring up that video.
Continues
feed.
the whole way like that.
Yeah, just making sure nothing weird shows up.
And you get to the tunnel, and the vine light continues down the tunnel, but the tunnel is now from that point on
Divine light.
the vine
Oh,
light,
the vine.
the divine vine light
That's what I was afraid of.
It's the divine.
Walk towards divine light.
Not that
continues
guy
down, and that tunnel though is not huge like these. It's enough for a couple people side by side. It's not massive anymore. And the light continues, and there's still runes and everything everywhere.
And you did remember the jar full of.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Oh, I left it back.
Oh,
darn.
Let's go get it.
Oh, no, I'll start walking that way.
An hour back.
That was a joke, Soren. All right, so yeah, I've got the.
Why is that funny?
He understands humor.
Yeah, he does.
They.
We. Yeah. All right, so continuing pressing on.
And you continue
Technically
down.
correct. The best kind of correct.
And you go about another 10 minutes, and then there's a door at the end. This is the first time you've seen a door in here. And there's a panel next to it, similar to the one you'd seen on the outside. And yes, and you hear registered.
All right, so we go
Registered.
around the circle again.
Yeah, all of them around. And the door opens, slides to the sides. And when you go in, when you look in, it lights up in there, and there's a tube in the middle of a big room, and there's like on a dais, there's like a tube or something that is open, and there is a robot next to the dais, and it's standing and waiting. It's a four-armed robot.
Forearms.
Forearm. What is? Oh.
Does this robot look like it would fit into one of the spacesuits?
It may be about that size, but
Perhaps.
Does it look active?
it looks like it's standing next to the dais, and it is moving.
Perhaps Kelleran and I should handle this.
I just fish out the mag seal container and say, we brought someone's remains. We put it in the doohickey. I believe that would be a remains receptacle device. I don't really know the funerary rites of these people.
I edge over to Jack. We have an edge over to Jack. We do not think doohickey is a very technical
No.
term.
I will speak up. I'll say, we are here to return the remains of a pilot.
And the robot doesn't move, but the capsule kind of turns this way.
Does it
So you
look
can
like-
see into it. It's empty, but it's like a tube.
Does it look like a pneumatic tube, like at a bank?
It looks more like a capsule, like a pill, but big.
Shall I?
I think you should.
Sure.
Anyone want to say a few words? I don't know. There's no good. There's no wind in here.
Lay him to rest. We hardly knew he.
Yeah.
It.
Unscrew and Go.
No, I think you put it in the thing.
Well,
Too late.
Well, this is my mag seal jar. Want me to give it away? All right.
We will buy you a new magazine.
That's very kind. And
Weren't there two of them?
Yeah, I have two. So you never know.
I forgot the other one.
I only have one.
I know.
I thought someone else was going to carry the other one.
It's not good unless you have the spare.
I assumed if we put everything, all the stuff in one, it would all fit in one of them. All the bone dust.
Yeah.
Let's put it in the capsule. Stand back.
I'll walk up with him. I want to get a closer look at it.
Okay.
He's got bone dust. These two guys are edging.
And you put it in the capsule seals, like the top of it, and the robot takes it and starts walking it towards a wall. And the walls all around here have like bumps, kind of like a beehive.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes over to one remaining hole and slides it in. And it goes in easily, and there's like a seal. It seals again over it, and then the robot collapses. Just falls apart.
Wow.
Above on the dais, a hologram of a Taurian appears.
We haven't seen what they actually look like yet. Just seen their dust and their suit.
And they're humanoid-ish. They have, skin, they're not reptiles or anything. They have 4 arms, and 2 of the hands are always doing these gestures, apparently. Almost like ritualistic type of stuff. 2 of them are just rise out. And it says something in a language you don't understand. You can record it, but you don't understand what it says. But it says several long sentences, and then it stops.
You recorded that, right?
I really did.
And then
While that's happening, I would look through the thing's eyes and see that the sound looks different.
It doesn't.
The same.
It's the same, yeah. And then you see the light on the floor start to move away from you, back towards the tunnel.
Maybe we're supposed to follow it.
I would like to cast Decipher Languages on myself, which allows me to understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that I hear. And then I'd ask you to play that recording back to me. I'll say, give me a moment. And I'll put my visor down, and I'll do something, and I put like an earpiece in, and I say, play that back.
I play it as I'm like,
I think we should.
yes,
nice.
starting to walk back towards the light slowly.
We were edging our way back.
Make me a roll.
Yeah.
Make me a roll.
What kind of roll?
What you?
There's
It's
no-
automatic.
It's automatic.
Okay.
There's no roll for it.
Um.
But it uses my only spell slot.
Okay.
Talent.
You get the gist of what you think it's saying. No one else understands this, but after hearing it, that you believe what you're hearing is the earliest forms of Silrain. But before all these new words were added and words have left it. So you're hearing an ancient language. It says something to the effect of, the final return commences, the opening will become unbarred. And then the arms open wide on the Taurian.
The opening will become unbarred.
The final return commences.
We think we should leave.
On a separate but related note, that effect lasts for an hour. So
Okay.
for the next hour, I can
Okay.
any language we hear, or I get a gist if I read something that's remotely
Okay.
interpretable.
Useful?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see. I don't want to stick around in the dark.
So Soren's eyes are lighting up at hearing that, and some gears are ticking in his head. We think we should leave now. We think that this ship was meant for a one-way travel. We are in here. We do not want to be in here.
Oh, you mean you think we're on a ship right now?
No, we think that the ship.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
saying this as he is walking
I
faster.
understand. The other ship was meant to come here and stay here permanently.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move. Follow the light. There's no other doors.
Yeah, and as you're walking, the light that was there starts fading away behind you, leaving it black behind you rather than lit. It doesn't stay lit where you're not at. But it started to, the light while you were standing in there started to fade away towards the tunnel.
Right.
You know,
Suggesting that's where we were supposed to go. Well,
it was going to get dark.
There's plenty of questions that Cal has, but it's going to be here when he's not trapped in here.
I suggest we run.
We suggest that we run. We will run. As Soren hefts his gear and books. Just starts booking it.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah.
It's a military term.
Kelren's just going to stay in the light.
Yeah, I'll pace
Yeah.
the light.
Well, the faster you run, the light fades faster behind you as you go.
Yeah, so,
It keeps pace at a distance behind you, staying dark. So you're all moving out as quickly as you can. When you get to the exit of the small tunnel, you get to the major one, the big area that looked like maybe the ship would go, and the lights are all swirling around very quickly and moving back, behind you, stopping the light, and you keep on going. How healthy are all of you guys to run this distance?
Pretty healthy.
Decent.
You're healthy, I know that. You're healthy.
Yeah.
I have a 13 constitution.
Okay, what's your con?
15, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of geeks are you?
We are very healthy games.
I have a women's count.
Okay.
all
All right, so no one's under 10 or anything. 9 or something. I knew you weren't.
We do 3 things good. We will not elaborate what those 3 things are.
Yes.
So you start moving, and the
Yeah,
lights
we're
follow
gonna-
you out until you reach the end of the tunnel. And as you're reaching the tunnel, you hear voices or howls coming from within.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you reach the platform outside, and the door goes down,
What were the howls?
like sounds, like vocalizations of some kind.
Like Tibetan throat singing type of howl?
How
Did
wool
the
down?
sound? Did
Like-
only you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, only you
Howls
hear
of the
it.
damned?
Did they seem to be coming from any particular
No.
place, or it was just like
From within,
from within?
yeah. And then the door goes when you get out, and the glowing panel stops glowing.
Well, it would seem that we've fulfilled our part of the bargain.
Yeah. Maybe more than that.
Seems like we did something very important, not just for that individual.
It would be very significant if the significance is not lost on us.
Yes. Indeed.
Wow, that's really
What
hard
was
to
the,
contemplate what you
what
just
was
said.
the-
Yeah, I know, right?
What did it say?
The final return commences.
The opening will be unbarred. Is that right?
The opening will become unbarred.
I don't suppose anyone knows about any openings. Looking around, nothing seems to be happening outside.
Nope.
Well,
You're now just out in the darkness again.
Perhaps it means the crucible?
Perhaps.
perhaps. Yeah. So I'm going to send my bonded companion up like 100 feet and have it look around with dark vision.
Final return.
There's no other. Does it look like there's signs of any other
It's dark.
structures or anything around here?
Nothing
The
else.
opening could be the crucible.
And you can tell this would be a hard structure to see on a satellite even.
Right.
It's a small enough piece. It's smooth enough, but there's enough stuff on it to make it look not
Yeah.
completely unnatural.
So does it look like it isn't a cliff
It's
face,
entirely
it's a
possible.
building, or is it that it's a building inside of a mountain?
It's inside of a mountain.
Okay, well, yeah, that would be tough.
It'd also be potentially probable.
Not impossible.
Maybe. All right, well, I guess, does that mean we head back and
Yeah,
inform that
let's
computer?
kind of rush back. I'm excited.
We are next to a very large ship with a very large amount of people who wish to do us much harm.
Oh, back, yeah. Back.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So let's head back. I mean, I guess I'd be wondering what the heck's going on in there. Is this a ceremony? I mean, we didn't know about the voices, so let's head back. All right.
And you climb down and get down to the vehicle, start riding, getting the vehicle back. It takes the same amount of time, and it's refreshing to see the light opening up again. The dark on the dark side is very substantial. It's nearly impossible to see this. You get to the vehicle or to the place where the ship is, and when you get there, you don't see Eddie. He doesn't seem to be there.
Is the
What about Tusk?
Caleb there?
You two make me a perception check. Yeah, the Caleb's there.
The ship's still there.
There you go.
16.
9.
It looks like
Yeah.
there's a burn mark on the place where you had gone into the ship. Like on the ship itself, like there's a black area next to where you'd enter.
Like
You'd entered.
like there was a discharge of some sort of energy on the side.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go into let's go into the ship.
Okay.
What you said we didn't see Eddie,
Correct.
but
And he was not in the ship. He was not supposed to go in the ship. He was outside.
Maybe he tried to.
Good thing I revoked his access.
That's good.
Or bad, according to the burn mark.
Tusk has been with
No,
us.
that's not his.
oh, Tusk is with us.
Sure.
Yes.
That's right.
And he starts looking around, like climbing up under the K-lid, looking in the hangars, and you can see desperation in his eyes, like it feels significant to him.
Computer, where's Eddie?
Eddie left on the ship.
Computer, what ship?
The ship that came to acquire him. It looks like.
Computer, what state was Eddie in when he left on said ship?
He was firing weapons defensively.
Oh.
Yeah, they came to take him. We need to go to the other vessel. But Kelvin would not say. Well, that's unfortunate.
Where's Tusk? You see, he's
He didn't even hear that. He was like trying to find him under around the ship. Was he hiding on the other side of it? Was
Tusk. Somebody came for him.
What do you mean somebody came for him?
There was another ship here, and apparently.
Can this ship show us a picture of that or something?
Can it?
Sure.
Computer, can you show us a display of the ship that came to take Eddie?
My visual sensors were not available at the time from the sand because due to the sand.
Computer, do you have audio of the event?
Yes,
Can you play back the audio for us?
sure. Yes, I'll replay the audio from that moment, and you hear a ship coming down or coming to here. You don't know whether it's coming down or whether it was a hovercraft or something, but there's definitely the sound of a vehicle that is not a wheeled vehicle, and it's the Jetsons. And you hear them go, someone needs to go check around you hear people start talking and they get out of this vehicle or whatever. So I'm going to go check around the K-lid. Everyone, it seems like everybody left except they left one behind. So we need to find that one. Make sure you check everywhere. Under the K-lids where he's probably hiding, because that's where that's where the scrappers like that with K-lids, put themselves. He may be armed. They had some weapons that were not typical ballistics, so be careful. And you hear people start moving. You hear footsteps moving up. Soren knows they're moving in tandem, or twos or threes, spreading out. And whoever they were, they're moving with pretty equidistant sounds to their footsteps, you know that sounds like trained soldiers or marshals or somebody who knows what they're doing. You can tell by the sound of that by itself. And you know from the sound of it, there were 4 groups spread out different ways around the K-lid, around the ship, what have you.
4 groups, equidistant. Yeah, they're trained. This was not a rabble of hired marshals. These were professionals. If it's any consolation, if they managed to get to Eddie, he is either alive and captured or it was quick.
And you hear a couple shots of what you know to be those weapons you had, because he had one of them. But you don't hear any sounds of pain or anguish from anybody. And then everyone starts coming back. There's a bit of a muffled voice, and then the vehicle or whatever leaves.
Well, that sounds like he was taken alive.
We would be willing to bet some credits on it.
What do you want to do about that, Tusk?
Oh, we need to go get that Chiki bitch or whoever. We got to find out who it was. I'm assuming it's Corellian, but I don't know. We got to find them.
Where did the other ship go?
Direction, yeah.
The vehicle headed west
Which is towards
after
the
leaving.
claim, right?
That is towards it.
Towards the claim, and also back towards Mark or the city and civilization, right? Everything is west from here.
Can we all check like local newscasts and stuff? Anything
Yeah,
about
nothing.
it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's been quiet. People are still, debating whether, about the other incident that you talked about. There's people on both sides of that.
Peter, do we have access to all levels of the ship now?
Oh yeah, we should tell the computer what we did. We delivered it.
I've been informed.
This is good.
So does that mean our access level has been increased?
You'll have adequate access to take ownership of the vehicle, of the ship.
So we still have Eddie out there. Do we all? Some of us should go after him, but should some of us stay with the ship and try to figure out the mystery of the ship?
That's how long it would take for the automatons to get the ship out? You said like weeks, right?
A week.
Yeah, a week. Okay. So, there's not much unless they've given new access. The problem is not access as much. Well, there's some rooms they could let us in there, but the problem is that we can't translate their language.
Well, are the automatons still working, or have they been destroyed?
No, they're working.
The one problem with going after Eddie is we only know the direction of where they went. We have an idea of who took him. We know nothing else other than that. We too would like to search for Eddie, but we have no knowledge other than he has been taken. We fear that if he has been taken, then he will be processed somewhere. However, as we have said, if these were professionals, it is unlikely that he is being taken only to be disposed of. We think we may have some time. We must figure our options rationally and tactically.
Kelvin will ask Tusk, on that scavenging operation they're running over there, that's a big vessel, right? How many people you think that, like a salvage operation like that's Corellian's going to put on? Are we talking dozen? Are we talking 20, 100?
Well, it's only been a few days. There's probably 10 or 12 people at most that are running the operation. But within a week, there will be 100 or more.
Yeah, and there was 8 to 12 or something.
Yes.
Security guys, like legit trained guys. could go take a look. It seems dangerous.
We do not think they would keep at the south side.
Computer, with our increased level of access, do you have any other means at your disposal to write yourself?
I have no pilot.
What would I be able to fill that role?
Maybe
If you can connect correctly,
if you three
you
stay with
could
the ship and us three.
you could control
us go after Eddie.
and escape from the sand.
The only qualm.
Your navigational
that.
knowledge is capable of handling the ship.
Can you guys help explore that? Would we be able to?
Try to figure out how to get it to interface with you without knocking you out.
Yeah.
Try, you know.
He probably needs a machined connection.
Well,
I
they
mean,
have
there's a machine shop.
As I say, they have a machine shop. It's not my you know. I have proficiency in ship engineering, ship systems
Which
engineering.
you could do that.
Oh,
I
wow.
have proficiency in computer programming and AI. We could probably create some sort of interface that'll translate the data coming out of the ship
Hopefully.
in at least as rudimentary of a way as we've been able to.
What the hell are you talking about? My son's been taken.
Yeah. This is all going to take a lot of time too. I think.
Is it? Okay. Well,
That's why I was wondering if you stay here and the three of us go after Eddie.
I think we should all go.
Then we'll all go.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not like the odds of 3 against
No.
that many. If you find Eddie.
I think we're trying to figure out if it's possible to take the ship there and potentially use it as a means of transport, and if we have access to
Its
its
weapons.
weapon systems, that would be
Yeah.
Gunboat
significant
diplomacy
boon.
would be.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, am I right in thinking that even with a heightened access and a pilot, the ship can't get out of the sand until we dig it out, or can it get itself out of the sand?
It could with a pilot.
If it's
Yeah,
piloted,
it just
it
said
would
it
right
could.
itself.
But I don't know how long it's going to take you
I mean,
guys to machine
yeah.
up
So
whatever.
I looked at the device. We looked at the things together. How long do we have any? Is this like a job for minutes, hours, or days?
Physically, you could do it in a couple of hours. You don't know how long it'll take. It may take a couple of hours, or it may take days. Who knows? Until you try it.
Look, how much do we need to jury rig it, and how safe does it?
Right. I mean, it's only a human brain with you. Right?
We don't know.
Well,
That's replaceable.
Yeah, well, grow a new one in a bag. Well, I mean, so one option. So I guess what we're looking at is stay here and go all in on trying to get the ship up and running, because we'll have a lot more power to show up there and get what we want, in principle, or go on foot, basically leaving either Tusk, he won't want to stay behind, leaving it unoccupied back
yeah,
there.
it'll close itself up. Already
Yeah.
did.
I mean, those are our two options, basically.
But what I would say is, yeah, those are our two options.
I mean, I don't think it's time sensitive in the sense that if we don't get there in the next 10 or 20 minutes, we'll be dead or something.
If that were the case, we're still more than 20 minutes away.
Could I make a intelligence roll to see basic interrogation, what they would try and figure out from Eddie, or something to that?
You'd have to know more about why it was taken.
Fair enough.
Right. I mean, we don't know 100% that it was them either.
We were operating under the assumption it was.
If it was the authorities, though, I would have thought.
Well, I don't think it was the authorities. I don't think it was, but
There might be more parties involved here. Even if it's
That would be an extreme move by Corellian to do something like that. That's not typical on Phreesis.
right. It's a real.
It's way more
It's
significant
real
than what
act
you get.
of aggression.
to send these soldiers in, you
Yeah,
mean?
to get to soldiery in the first place as a way of
And
achieving
pulling
a
some- right, and
means.
pulling some guy out who's a scrapper, it's very,
Yeah.
so.
So maybe
Potential
it's
for blowback.
more like the planetary government or something.
I don't know.
It could be her, and she could just be.
Right, it could be another party, I don't know that it's the planetary government either, but it's somebody who, well, let me put it this way, somebody wants this, there's no reason, we know that the ship is special, and that temple, which nobody knew existed until 5 minutes ago, was also very special.
Yeah. I'm going to ask the computer, so it played the audio for when Eddie was taken. What about for when whoever was burning, trying to access the door. Like,
That was the
Eddie?
shot from Eddie shooting at them.
Oh, okay.
I think we have to choose an option, and my vote is for trying to get this ship pregnant. I think it will give us the best shot of negotiating to get Eddie back.
And we also don't know for certain that Corellian's people took Eddie to the other ship. So if we run over there with guns, they're going to fight us, and Eddie might not even either.
We agree. We do not believe that Eddie was taken to the ship. We believe that Eddie was taken back to civilization, and we think it's best to think our options over while we repair the ship.
Tusk, I'm gonna reach out to Asa Inc. and let him know that there's a ship that's abducted, that a team has abducted Eddie, and to see if there's something that he can do, if the authorities can find him. We can't.
Please,
So I'm gonna
whatever
send
you
him that
can.
message, because we can't obviously intercept these people. I mean, they're gone. They had a vessel, right?
Yeah.
So our little brown things can get there. So I'm gonna send this information to Asa and let him know to alert the marshals. I'm also, if you have that information from that video, that we can send him also, so that
The audio of it.
the audio, rather.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll send them that also of the of the event, the incident, and then.
Just out of curiosity, I want to call Eddie.
Yeah, no response.
You couldn't get a hold of him. That's
No.
good. That's not a bad thought, though.
Maybe we can upload that video, the audio, to and we want to.
Yes, right, exactly,
Like,
right,
Look what
yes,
Corellian's
do it.
doing now, right?
Yes.
He's abducting people illegally with paramilitary forces.
Do it.
That with some photos.
Do it.
I
Yeah.
don't photos. I don't want photos of the ship. But
And then you can have like a missing. Ask Tusk if he has like a picture of Eddie, but like
Yeah.
missing.
Corellian ups the ante.
Control some of their propaganda. But yeah, well, if that's the case, then why did they send in a tactical team to kidnap, to murder lawfully operating scrappers? And the audio will be kind of fun for people to hear.
Yeah, they'll enjoy that.
Especially with the lines on it. This is what those scrappers do. We know where to find them. You know.
There's already a lot of suspicion about scrappers, particularly Corellian, anyway right now, because there's so many complaints that get lodged against her on every drop now. And she's winning a significant number. It seems very corrupt.
We'll hashtag Corellian, or we'll hashtag
Corrupt Corellian.
Corellian Dubois terrorism.
All right. So
Work on that ship.
Yeah, let's work on the ship. You want us to make
you're going to start trying
Yeah,
to,
interface.
make me your engineering.
Hashtag
Check.
Dirty Dubois.
You want to help me?
Sure.
Dirty Dubois, ha.
I have an engineering computer
They're not
science.
fantastic. 14?
I give you. I have an 11 for top electrical engineering.
Okay. The DNI you think, the connection you think will be adequate,
Okay.
and you think that the coding is good enough to get it going.
Coding is good enough.
To get it going, you can improve it, but there's a lot of pressure to get it done fast.
And I'm going to upload what rudimentary amount of translation our AI has been able to do so far and say, you might not understand anything, but it's better than nothing.
So you take the DNI.
Yeah. Well, how long does it take them effectively to get all that?
A couple of hours, probably
In the
3
meantime,
hours.
I'm going to be trying to quiz the computer. So, what is the purpose of this vessel? Do we now have clearance to know the initial intent of its?
It's not talking about that.
Fine.
Or do any of the rooms that had been previously inaccessible, are they accessible now? I'm busy, so I can't go.
Yeah, you don't know. Everyone's kind of scrambling doing stuff.
So there's like a computer, there's like a jerry-rigged computer deck with a DNI from the chair goes into that. and
Right.
there's
The
another-
chair's on the ceiling
Yeah.
too.
And there's another jack
a
that comes
long
out
stretch.
of that thing.
So, what do? You gonna do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you stand there
Yeah.
and you plug it in,
Yeah.
and this is where we'll break.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.